Hello and welcome to Trails Through Trails, the podcast where we play through the long-running Trails series, chapter by chapter, game by game. And today's a pretty special one. I'm one of your hosts, Lex, and I use she, her pronouns.
I'm Matt, I use he, him.
And today we are finishing Trails in the Sky the third. It's done. It's ovah.
It is, in fact, ovah, as that one guy once said several times this entire season. Oh my goodness. It's time to fix everything, overcome our trauma entirely, and move on with our lives, never having to think about this phase space ever again.
No problems in Zemuria after this. Nothing else is happening ever. Everyone is okay forever.
Smooth sailing. We love it. It's pretty much a dungeon run and a boss run for the remainder of the game, so weirdly this finale episode might be one of our shorter episodes. Just trying to jinx us there a little bit.
Yeah, knock on wood when you say that.
Bonk, bonk.
We may have a few other things in the pipeline for you, but the end of the, standard season.
Mm-hmm.
We're finished our first arc of Trails.
My brain, good, yeah. The end, yes. Maybe I need to knock on that wood a few more times to wake up my brain.
Wow.
It's crazy. I can't believe we've gotten through 3 games and however many hundreds of hours of gaming to get here, and then we're going to keep going.
Yeah. The games are getting longer from here on out, so I'm not sure we're going to keep doing 3 games in a year and a few months, but we're certainly going to keep playing the games. I just don't know how fast we're going to get through them.
As soon as the game moves from tracking chapter to chapter to day in a chapter to day in a chapter, you really have to refine the magnifying glass down to see exactly how much we're going to cover. So we'll figure all that out and let you know. We'll probably stick with the fortnightly release schedule just because it's the kindest on everyone's time, and see how much Trails from Zero we can get through in an episode.
We'll be finding that out with all of you at some point in the future.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's wild. We weren't even sure when we started this. We were trying to prove to ourselves that we could at least finish a game, and now we finished the full Sky Trilogy. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, thank you for joining us on this journey so far and continuing into the future. It's been lovely to have people champion the cause.
Give a shit.
Folks who, bringing in folks who know the games and are just waiting for us to react to particular bits, or using it as kind of like a gaming, no, I was going to say gaming lubricant, but that's starting off on a bad foot. To really help them ease into the series in a way that feels a little less daunting.
A gaming lubricant for Kevin's final release?
I need to leave the podcast.
All right.
Yeah, it's great to get more people in on the series. Obviously, the releases of the remakes has been very fortuitous to encourage people to come in, especially when it's the same game, but prettier. So welcome, thank you, and we're going to keep going, so don't worry about that.
We'll stop being mushy and sentimental in a second, but yeah, thank you guys, all of you so much who have listened, whether you knew who we were before the show or just discovered the show because you love Trails and have started listening or joined the Discord or anything. It means a lot to us. We really, really appreciate all of you guys, so thank you so much.
Yeah, and just a special shout out to being chill vibes the whole way through. The JRPG field is one full of excitable characters, let's say, and it's nice to see everyone kind of on the same page, being chill, respectful, all that good stuff. So keep it up. We love to see it.
Absolutely. It's been really lovely. But before we dive into this final segment of the final chapter, what have you been up to? What's going on with you?
Well, I mean, seeing the end of this game coming up on the horizon, before the horizon as opposed to beyond it, it has been encouraging me to finish a bunch of other games at the same time. So I finished a replay of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
Of course.
Because that just got upgraded on Switch for the 60 FPS, and they gave you a hover bike. So between playing New Game Plus and having that hover bike to race around on, I literally finished the game in half the time. My first playthrough was 60-something hours, and I was just over 90 by the time I finished the second playthrough. So yeah, really helps speed things up for those big runs across those gigantic fields. Because I want to do Chronicles 2 when it drops in a couple of days' time at this point.
Oh my god, that's fast.
And then 3 down the ways before Genesis comes next year. So yeah, they're kind of speeding the first 2. And then I think Xenoblade Chronicles 3's patch doesn't come out till October or December or something.
It's late-ish fall, I think.
So yeah, that's coming up, and I appreciate that the gap is a bit longer because 2 does take a lot longer to play. Plus, it's got that amazing DLC, Torn of the Golden Country, that's maybe the best Xenoblade Chronicles game.
I've also heard people say that about the DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yeah, Future Redeemed
Yes.
is the 3 one. But yeah, that one's great because it's like an Avengers moment, kind of unifying characters from across the 3 games.
You mean a Trails into Reverie moment?
I'm so sorry I used the wrong term. Yes, I do mean a Trails into Reverie like. I enjoyed playing through that again, seeing all the characters. It's a great vibing game to catch up on podcasts. You only have to pause occasionally for a story cutscene where someone's going to yell, Fiora! in the most blood-curdling voice they can manage. They really go hard on some of those scream lines. I also finally finished the episode Igus DLC for Persona 3 Reload that I'd been sitting right at the end of for forever.
Oh, yeah.
So I can finally uninstall that one from my PS5 and free up some hard drive space. There was something else. Oh, I finished Black Flag Resynced after my review, just sort of tidied up the last of the stuff. Yeah, and after that, I've just been kind of drifting between games a little bit. I haven't really decided what to lock in on as far as a new game.
Did they spell Resynced SYNC or SINK? Because it is pirates.
They did not go for the pun. They went for resynchronized. And yeah, look, they could have really taken an opportunity there and they just didn't. It's a good game though.
Yeah, just missed the opportunity with the title.
Yeah. Don't let that hold you back from playing it if you do want to go be a pirate though. It's good outside of that. Yeah, but other than that, I've just been kind of bouncing around between stuff. I might watch TV for a while because I tend to only pick one media.
I did some of that.
Oh, what did you get up to?
As we know from last episode, I reread the first Game of Thrones book in 2 days.
Insane.
I'm rereading the second one now. It is taking me longer.
Good.
But I also finally watched the A Night of the Seven Kingdoms show that came out earlier this year.
Oh, yeah.
That is 6 episodes. They're half-hour episodes, too. I think 1 or 2 of them was 40 minutes, but the other, they're half-hour episodes. It's based on novellas that he wrote set 100 years before Game of Thrones. He wrote these in the 90s. This is not new stuff he wrote. He wrote these after he wrote the first couple of books. There's 3 novellas so far. He says he'd like to write more someday. We'll find out if that happens. But it's kind of the best way I can describe it. It's like A Knight's Tale meets The Princess Bride in terms of vibe, but set in Westeros.
Okay.
It's very much a lot lighter, quite comedic in a lot of ways. There's obviously some darker moments. There's some more serious stuff in the last few episodes, but it's really, really good. Yeah, so I watched that yesterday and today. It's only 6 episodes, so it's 3 hours of my time. So I got through it 3.5 maybe if you put together a few of the episodes running longer. And then I have, so for the last year and a half-ish, I've been working with our friend Matt Horton on some videos for his YouTube channel. I'm working on the scripts that are about that feeling after you finish a long RPG and just get kind of depressed and empty and void after it and kind of diving into it. And we ended up making 3 video scripts about it. And the first one just went up yesterday at time of recording. I think by the time this episode goes up, the next video will be up too. So we can link this in the show notes. But
okay, cool.
Yeah, we've been working on them for a long time and really happy with how they're turning out. And Trails, I talk about Trails and Crossbell as a setting and
nice.
How getting to know a setting really is spending that much time in a place and with NPCs and characters really works on you. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
So anyone want to check that out? I'd love that. And I have bought a couple games that came out this past week that I'm very excited to play, but I haven't played them yet. I got The Incident at Galley House is a sort of remake, remaster, upgrade of this text-only itch game that came out a few years ago called Type Help. It's a puzzle mystery game. It's an incredibly good puzzle mystery game that's vaguely in the lineage of an Obra Dinn, but quite different mechanically. It's not the locking in 3 things. It's just you can kind of tell that it is based on trying to figure out how a bunch of people died in a mysterious incident. But it's really good. And then this remaster has gotten glowing reviews. It was done with the help of the developers of The Root Trees Are Dead. And then a game called Desktop Explorer that it's another kind of horror mystery-ish game that I played a demo for. I think I talked about it on the show during a Steam Next Fest or something, but
yeah, I think so. It sounds familiar.
But it came out. It's Clippy, I think, is haunted in it.
He's always been haunted.
But it's about that now, and I'm into that. And there's mysteries, and I'm excited to dive into them. I just haven't had time yet this week since they came out.
Yeah. I did actually have a game that I picked up this week as well.
Ooh.
Splatoon Raiders that I just haven't put enough time
Yes.
into yet. I've played a couple of missions. I was never a Splatoon 1, 2, 3 person because I'm not really
Me neither.
I'm not a multiplayer person generally.
Me neither.
And first person shooting is not my go-to. Like I like to dabble in it, but there has to be some other mechanic or complication to make it interesting to me. I don't just want to play Call of Duty or Modern Warfare or whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, this is single player, so I'm having some fun with it so far.
Yeah.
I'm also reviewing a game at the same time, so I haven't had time to really invest in it yet. While I'm busy proceeding towards the Beast of Reincarnation, the review for which won't be out just yet when this episode drops. It'll be a few days after, so we'll link it in the next episode or put it on Twitter or something. I don't know.
All right. Do we want to dive into the game now, or was there anything else we wanted to update the people about?
One last thing, while you've been playing a game that is a remake or remaster of an existing concept, there's also a remaking occurring in the Worst Garbage Discord community at the moment for the Game Jam team,
Right.
who, it turns out, regularly use episode titles from Worst Garbage podcasts as kind of the prompt for each Game Jam, and this time around we've been lucky enough to be selected as the creative idiots to inspire their latest wave of genius. They've chosen one of our episode titles from the start of this season, P.S. I Have a Bazooka, and are using that to inspire Game Jam concepts, which is insane. That's very cool, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, I believe by the time this episode's going up, the Game Jam will be wrapping up.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's like 9 days. But the games that people make will still be available. So that's absolutely worth checking out. People make some really cool creative stuff. And I am very excited to dabble around and see what P.S. I Have a Bazooka inspires. What great art comes of this.
Yeah.
I think that'll bring us into the actual meat of the episode, which is the last chunk of the game.
Yes.
Before we go into the actual events, I think we promised we left everyone on a cliffhanger last episode, because we did not read out our final rankings of all the doors. And to paraphrase something Estelle says in the chunk we played of the game for this episode, that's a lot of doors.
It sure do be. So let's have a look what our final ranking of doors was. Do we want to do an overall ranking or per category?
No, let's do an overall.
We've got a bunch of identical scores. So in 10th place, we have a single solitary door, which is Sun Door 1, the Capua delivery service, which was the turret minigame that was fine.
Less than fine, but it had a cute story bit.
Yes, the story bit was the only thing that saved it. So that was 1.5 out of 5 suns at 10th place.
Featuring boss fight of the year 2025, Gilbertstein.
God. In 9th place, we have 2 doors. We have Star Door 7, the Epstein Foundation. Got to make sure you say it the right way. And Sun Door 4, the Casino Gambler Jack. So a solid minigame that was just weird poker and blackjack. And then the backstory for the Foundation and how augments came. So cool stuff, but nothing revelatory necessarily.
Yeah.
In 8th place, holding it all by itself, we have the Orbital Gear Project Part 1 at 3 out of 5 moons.
Oh, yes.
Our very first moon door. And then that was succeeded by rank 7, which is Orbital Gear Project Part 2. At 3.25 out of 5 moons, which just barely scraped in a higher score.
Is she also alone up there?
She's also alone up there. It gets really messy from here on out.
Oh, boy.
In 6th place, we have 2 star doors. Doors 5 and 10, which is Swordsmanship, Annalise's door,
Yes.
and the Gordius class experiment report about Partamata, which are both at 3.5 stars. In 5th place, it's real crowded. We kind of leveled out the same number for a lot of doors.
Oh, boy.
So we have all at 4 out of 5. Star Door 1, Julia's Day Off. Moon Door 3, Descended Wings, which was the one about Chloe?
Right, that's the Chloe School one. No, I was thinking of the Chloe Rooftop Gala one, but no, this Chloe School one. The Lecter and Chloe and Student Council and Orphans one.
So, Julia's Day Off, School Time at Descended Wings, also Training Agate Style, which was Star Door 6, training the trio of bros that add up to one functional human being. Star Door 9, Like a Mother, about the orphanage.
Like a Mother was the Lila one.
Oh god, that's right. I just blanked that out because it's not like a mother, it's like a girlfriend.
That they no homo to the name.
Ugh. Okay, well, false advertising.
I guess it's just a mommy kink title. I guess that must be what they mean.
Yeah, I can't wait for the remake to be called Like a Mommy.
It must just be an allusion to their sex life.
Yeah, that must be Stardor 9B that we didn't get to see.
Clearly.
After that, we also have Stardor 11, the Phantom Thief B report. Another just little report one. Sundor 5, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with Campanella.
Thank you, Campy.
The quiz game that I'd never finished that brutal one.
But the reward for it is so good.
Yeah, I had to miss out.
But fair.
And the final 4 out of 5 door is Stardor 13, Assault on the Imperial Guilds. That gave us the rundown of what happened in Erebonia during the first game while Dad Bright was summoned away.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of 4 out of 5s.
I keep saying, oh boy, to all of this. I'm like Sabrina Carpenter at the beginning of, what's the song, Manchild? You know, when she's like, oh boy. Then, like, this is me here. Oh boy.
See, I went to Mickey Mouse. Oh boy, haha.
Are they the same person? Is that what we're saying?
Well, they're the same height. Yeah.
Anyway.
So that was number 5. In 4th place on our door list, we have 3 doors, 3 4th ranks. It is Sundor 3, the arena, Moondor 2, the client, and Stardor 4, Journey's End. They're all 4.25 out of 5.
All right.
Then we've got, in 3rd place, Stardor 12, I Accept Your Request. Moondor 5, The Happiness Stone, about the orphanage kids running away. Stardor 8, Return to the Empire, which was Olivier something?
That's Olivier Mueller going back, meeting Osborne. That's the one I've ranted about history for so long, you probably glazed over and forgot the whole door.
Look, the names aren't as clear as I remember them being in the moment.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Final 3rd placer is Stardor 3, The Banquet, on the rooftop of the castle.
Ah, right. Congrats to our bronze medal winners.
Congratulations. Small applause. In silver place, we have 2 doors. Stardor 2, The Salt Pail, about the Salt Pail.
Oh, that one's so good.
And Stardor 15, Paradise, which was the one door we had to give a trigger warning for.
Yeah.
That's the penultimate place at 4.75 out of 5 stars. And finally, right at the top of the list, in 1st place, we have dual winners. We have Moondor 4, Departure, about Estelle and Joshua heading off on their next adventure. And Stardor 14, Phantasmal Blaze, which is all of that lore dump about the society and all of the anguis. The angui? How would you plural anguis?
Anguis. I think I just say anguis.
It is just anguis? It's not an octopus-octopi situation, even though that's grammatically incorrect, but never mind.
But it's fun to say and annoy people with who get mad about it being grammatically incorrect. So we say it anyway. No, maybe just to piss people off, I should start saying angui.
A collection of angui.
Angui.
So yes, those are our top 2 ranked doors at 5 out of 5. Departure and Phantasmal Blaze.
All right. Well, let's raise the Liberl flag and play the Liberl national anthem for our gold medalists. Woo, yay sports.
I was about to sing Let Old Acquaintance Be Forgotten. That's not a winning a medal song.
You know what? That works. I guess the Whereabouts of Light is the Sky national anthem, so...
Yeah, have they ever established national anthem type songs in the games?
There's a song that plays a lot in, like, the castles and, like, when the queen shows up and stuff. There is a track that it's kind of like the royal thing.
But now we have celebrated all of our top 10 ranking doors. All that's left is to deride and shout and point and throw rocks at the one door that didn't make it onto the top 10 at the very bottom of the list. With 0 out of 5 suns, it is our least favorite door of the game, Sundor 2, Legendary Angler Estelle. The fishing minigame.
The only good thing I can say about it is that the cover art is cute, and that's not enough to give it a half star.
The only good thing I can say about it is that I don't have to play it ever again.
God, our prayer circle for a good fishing system in the remake.
There have been so many versions of the fishing game, you've just got to pick one that works. Like, honestly, the Daybreak one, pretty good.
Yeah. The Cold Steel 3, 4, and Reverie one, also pretty good. Anything post Cold Steel 3, you can probably do, and it's fun.
Man, Do you realize that someday we'll be able to do a bonus episode that's just ranking the various fishing minigames?
Oh my god, you're right.
Ugh, terrifying. Yeah, so I'm just setting up a time bomb for our future where we have to go back and revisit this trauma, basically.
Oh boy. Oh boy. You know what? I think we will remember it. I think it is scorched into our memory well enough that we won't need to replay it to refresh for that potential episode.
Yeah, you know what? In fact, I'm going to plan for the future, and right now I'm going to record my segment for that bonus episode about all the fishing games with my complete review of the Trails in the Sky, the third fishing minigame. It sucks! There we go.
I'll do mine as well. Poop from a butt. That's what it is.
It's a timeless term that will still apply in 38 years when we finally get to the last fishing minigame of this series.
In 38 years, when Falcom gets to the last fishing minigame of the series,
yes.
And then we'll still have another decade to get there.
Well, that was all of the memory doors. Ranked, reviewed, recommended, or reviled, and we're done with them.
We came, we played, we conquered, and we ranked.
Hoorah.
Because nothing counts if you haven't given it a numerical score.
And we're done. Let's return to the garden.
For the last time.
Where we are ready to depart on our final journey with the party of Trails in the Sky, the third, the original game.
Mm-hmm.
It's over!
So before we boarded the Arseille, first of all, I spent the first 30 to 45 minutes of my play session just setting up augment equipment for everybody ahead of the final dungeon.
Mm-hmm, me too.
My goodness, you really start to feel the limitations of that augment menu at this point in time, not being able to live swap from person to person.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a thing they do implement very effectively from, I don't remember if it's in the next arc, but it's definitely in Cold Steel onwards, where you can just yoink equipment off other party members.
Is it because you've replayed Cold Steel 1 more recently than me? Is it in 1 or not until 3?
It is in 1, I believe. You've
replayed
pull,
it in the past
and it just
year,
says the thing, it's got this equipped, do you want to swap it? Like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to look forward to, but we don't have it yet, so it took me so long. I was trying to get everyone equipped and just trying to work out how many last-minute quartzes I needed to organize.
So annoying.
Like, at this point, it doesn't cost too much. It's just, there's so much stuff to organize.
Well, I did go through 99,000 silver quartz because everything needs to use silver Seepeth.
I think the time Sepith was the one that started to get dangerously low. That was always tough to find in the earlier chapters of this thing, so I was really worried that I would have to go hunting again. But I managed to pump out everything I needed, short of the time gem, because I didn't finish the final round of the arena.
Yes.
I think in the setup guide I used, Josette was meant to have that, so she just had something missing because I forgot to ever replace it.
It's the make Josette useful quartz is really what it exists for.
Yeah.
Because she can't really do damage, but at least with that, she can get off like buffs and defenses really fast.
But it didn't really affect me in the long run to not have one quartz. Like, I feel like the game is probably balanced well enough in how the end bosses feel, that it's not too cruel to you if your parties are underleveled beyond like your main guys.
Yes, but we were all good.
So after doing all of that, I did do a final whip round of the garden just to see if anyone had anything interesting to say. It's pretty much the same world state as it was last episode.
Yeah.
Might have just been based on who I had in the party, mixing things up.
Yeah, I swapped my party members a bunch when running around the garden.
Yeah, I had to do it this time because just setting up everyone for their augments, you can only upgrade the slots of the people in your current party, so I was having to cycle them through just for that. Just to upgrade everyone's slots for all these, like, 3-tier gems that I had to give them. The party I was running around with was what was going to be, like, my first dungeon party, which is Shara, Estelle, Joshua, and Annalise. So I took him over to see Olivier, who was just hanging out by himself on that high platform that I've never seen anyone use until this point in the game, because I just kept missing everything.
I've seen a few, yeah.
And he's just reminiscing about how, like, everyone's kind of talking, oh, we're going to have to leave soon, we're almost leaving, like, we're going to say goodbye, it's all that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But he's just thinking, oh, we'll have to go soon. I should probably try and bang Celeste before I go.
Classic.
It's just like, I should really, like, try and make it work with her before we leave while I still have the chance.
I'm not sure she's corporeal, but...
Yes, she's got that gussy, that ghost.
He's still gonna try.
Yes, he's determined. What else? Oh, yeah, when he says this, Estelle in my party threatens to just, like, beat him to death. And Cher is like, you can try, but if you're unlucky, Celeste is going to banish you outside of the seven planes to the void all by yourself. So shoot your shot if you want, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, there wasn't much really that we hadn't already covered in the last episode. Like, Kevin's with all the serious people saying that he's got something important to say, but he's going to wait until basically the next cutscene.
Of course. Main character energy.
Exactly. Did you find any last-minute messages before boarding the Arseille, or were you pretty much ready to go?
I didn't even give it a try. I was really thorough last week, so I didn't even bother looking around this week.
Yeah, like, I didn't really expect to see much. I was just curious, and also I was pretty sparing on it last time.
No, that's valid.
But that was pretty much everything I saw. Other than that, it was just, I was tired from doing all of that quartz setting up.
Yeah.
Basically, I ordered my lunch on DoorDash. It said it was going to take 45 minutes, and by the time I finished the quartz setup, my lunch was here. It was pretty well timed.
No kidding. No, I finished that, and I was like, if I don't go right now, I'm gonna start second guessing myself and go futz around again with my setups. I just have to start now.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so that means it's time to board the Arseille.
That's that then.
So, we talk to Celeste. We tell her we're gonna fuck off to the Arseille.
Yes.
And so we do.
I appreciate that we get warped there for the cutscene as well, because me having to remember where exactly in the previous dungeons the Arseille was would have extended my play session by about 45 more minutes.
There's all the little portals you have to take to get there.
Too much.
No, thank you. No, but thankfully Celeste just leads us there, and we're bam on the Arseille. And then Celeste is like, okay, everybody wish with all your heart. You know, I wish upon a star. I do believe in fairies. I do. Imagine the airship flying. And of course, Gilbert is here too, and reminds us all that he was on this ship when he was being brought to Lacen Fortress to be imprisoned.
Yeah, woe is me.
Only Reese doesn't have a memory of being on the ship. And then Celeste, waves her magical hand as we all wish upon a star, and the Arseille comes to life.
Yeah, I appreciate, like, everyone gets, like, the little chip-in moment for the most part. Reese even says, like, I've never been on the Arseille, but I'm sure I can picture what it looks like flying.
Yeah.
Then we get a drop from Celeste that no one had mentioned this part before. She's like, if not everybody is wishing the same thing the same way, it's not going to work at all. It's like, since when was that the case? Like, it's not like standing in the garden, everyone had to wish for Annalise's stuffy toy.
Well, she never got the stuffy toy, so maybe that was the reason.
True. You know what? That's fair.
Honestly, that could just be Celeste trying to hurt us like cats. She's just telling us, like, the ship will never fly if you don't all lock the fuck in and stop causing issues.
Yeah. If anything, it's just another way to, like, shit on Gilbert for one last time. It's like, hey, get with the program, dude, or we will leave you behind.
Yep, pretty much.
And then it turns out wishes do come true because the Arseille's consoles all start lighting up because we wished upon a star hard enough.
Julia's like, okay, I'm captain, I'm gonna captain. Oh, I do like as a touch who they have, like, manning the ship, because most of the party is standing in, like, the general standing area where we've always stood when scenes happen on the Arseille. But Julia, of course, in the captain's chair with Chloe next to her, and then you have Alan, Richard, Joshua, Mueller, Josette, and Tita at the controls of various, like, ship operations.
Yeah.
I love that Joshua's there. Like, yes, he's qualified for this, but it's easy to forget. But he did hijack that airship with Estelle last game.
Yeah, I kind of like the thought that during his, like, Capua adventure last game, like, because they're such a small crew, at least of, like, competent named characters, he probably was helping out with fill-in shifts while other people took breaks or stuff like that, because he's such a know-it-all genius.
No, I think that's what it is, yeah.
Richard, it would make sense. He's from the military. They use airships. Mueller same thing.
Same reason.
Tita's a genius, and Josette is an airship person.
Yeah.
Also, I do appreciate that they made sure that everybody is in this scene, because even Sieg is in shot. He's, like, sitting on Chloe's arm.
Yes.
They've made sure that he's part of the process, so no one will be confused or worried that he's, like, sitting in the next room by himself, I guess.
Or just being left behind at the garden. We forgot about Sieg? No, never.
Yeah, he can fly as fast as an airship, remember?
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about him keeping up. Oh, we might in a few minutes.
Yeah, because Julia's like, all right, it's time to go to max battle speed, and we take off, and we get this really nice little montage of, like, the colors of the sky, outer space, whatever the hell it is, kind of change to some pretty pastels.
It's cool because it's like, it's phasing up through the plane themes at the same kind of direction that it would be from where the Arseille leaves. Because, like, you do see the one with all the mirrors in the background and various color ones. I don't think we go through all of them in this shot, but they are just transitioning in this like warp tunnel kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Of those different backgrounds. So you spend enough time crawling through those dungeons, like potentially quite a lot of time depending on your difficulty choice.
Yes.
So those backgrounds would feel inherently familiar, even if you don't be like, oh, that is the fourth plane or whatever. Even I was just like, oh yeah, look, it's the mirrors. I fucking hate those guys.
Yeah. And we get various, like just like color combos and like sparkly lights.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver's like, it's a giant kaleidoscope. Gisette's reading off the numbers of, we're at 3,000 cells per hour, 3,100, 200. And all of a sudden she's like, wait a second, 4,300? And everyone's like, what the fuck? That's way higher than the maximum speed. We're not supposed to go above 3,600. And then Celeste's like, this is the maximum potential speed, not just the maximum real speed or something.
Yeah, it's like you're all wishing so good that you hero worshipped the Arseille into being even more powerful than it really is. Or, there's no air friction in the void or whatever. So we're going 5,000 cells per hour, which is even faster than Sieg could keep up. So it's a good thing he's here in the cabin. It's fast enough to get us to launch into a CG cutscene.
Yeah, because apparently there's a barrier in front of us, and Julia is like, we're going to fire at it with the cannon.
I like that we're going 500 kilometers an hour, and Josette's still like, we're almost at the barrier. It's 120 seconds away. So we've got a full 2 minutes at 500 kilometers an hour before we reach the barrier.
Yeah.
But everyone's like, shit, we got to get ready. So yeah, we get a wonderful cutscene. We pan around the Arseille. We get to see the big giant cannon come out of the front.
Yes.
Then it fires one really cool shot at the barrier that kind of wiggles it a little bit, but doesn't do anything. And then it's like, okay, and now blam, 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 blam. With the final shot, I guess everyone was wishing really, really hard because the final laser beam turns into a Laserbird. It's basically a big glowing Sieg, or I guess the symbol of Liberl.
I guess.
And that is the one that smashes through the barrier. And it makes absolutely no sense, but doesn't have to. It's JRPG nonsense, and it's fantastic.
And we are this whole ship is being powered by our wishes and hopes right now, canonically. So, sure, it can turn into an actualization of Liberl's hopes and wishes or something. Given the logic that we have already accepted for how this place is working, this does not stretch the logic we've already accepted that we're going to go with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. 3 cheers for Laserbird.
We're with you now. We're the Laserbirds.
It's fantastic. We break through, we get into the void, which just kind of looks like Mad Max. It's a lot of ruined looking buildings or shells of buildings and big geological structures.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of deserted planet in a sci-fi show or something. Not a high budget necessarily one, but you've got stuff floating in the air. You've got what looks like some asteroids floating around in the air. It's all kind of deserted.
They'd been describing it as a void, so I was expecting just a big, endless, flat desert. But it kind of makes sense that this void would be kind of a dumping ground for old processed data from within Phantasma.
Yeah.
If it was generating people's wishes, I wish I had a bakery in Grand Cell, then there's probably half a copy of Grand Cell somewhere out here with a bakery in it. So it's just kind of it's the rubbish bin for the Phantasma computer.
Yes. Anyway, but yes, it does make sense, this idea of this wasteland. It's the cache and the junk folder for Phantasma.
Yeah, it does feel like that kind of almost backroomsy energy of just replicated junk data.
Yeah.
Part of me really wishes there'd been at least part of the dungeon based in there, because I feel like
that would have been really cool.
That kind of reuse of assets to create jumbled trash Liberl would actually be pretty cool and budget conscious. I understand we have more than enough dungeon coming up that we don't need that, but there's something, about that, post-apocalyptic wasteland that's just always fun to explore.
Yes. And this is when Kevin realizes what happened to the Oriole. Because he looks around and he goes, okay, the Oriole didn't just disappear. There's no way something powerful enough to create all of this just fucking disappeared into nothingness. And he remembers what Campanella said at the end of last game, because remember when Campanella was there when he killed Weissman, and Campanella said something along the lines of, well, now I've got what I came here for, so I can go. And Kevin's like, in his mind, he's like, oh, he took the Oriole. He doesn't say this to anyone else.
But also, this kind of surprised me because it felt like this would have been the perfect moment to acknowledge the doors, like the memory doors, because we've been going into them all this time and we've been through all of the doors, so we've seen Campanella take the Oriole.
I don't think our characters have seen it all.
That's the thing, like, we're going into these doors. Are they experiencing the memories that we're seeing, or are they not?
I think the character who is related to that memory, if it's them in it, like, Tita, it, like, comes to the surface of her mind, I think, when she goes. Like, it's, like, kind of like she remembers it, but she's not like, I'm walking through it. It, like, as the characters are experiencing it, I think they're just going in and getting treasures and facing a fight. And then being like, this kind of reminded me of that time I went fishing with Joshua. But I don't think they're living it, and I don't think they're seeing the things that they didn't experience.
Which is interesting, because the doors have all been written, like, the challenges have been written in prose as though it is being presented to these people, so they would read it, and then go through, and then get no reward for it, in terms of their experience.
I think they just get the quartz or the money or whatever. I don't think they see the memories. It bothered me for a while. I was like, I want to see the characters, like, react. The first time I played it, I remember being like, I want to see the characters talk about the stuff in the doors and react.
Yeah.
Ashley, friend of the show, Ashley, once pointed out that it's kind of like, it's the equivalent to, like, the treasure chest, like a really special treasure chest, just being, like, a gift for us in this context. Kind of like how chess messages may not actually be something the characters read. And Campanella talks to us when we are intruding in his door, not in the other stuff. So I think this confirms that our characters are not seeing, at least the doors unrelated to them, because they didn't see the Ouroboros stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting, because, like, it is phrased as, I shall grant you a memory fragment.
Yes.
And, like, I guess that's being posed to the player rather than the party.
I guess, yeah.
It seemed like a weird thing, because it's such a personalized journey through all of these memories for the most part. Like, it's either directly about them or about things they're involved in. And, like, if ever there was a moment to, like, include, like, an optional line, like a variant line that just acknowledges that you've completed all 25 doors and seen Phantasmal Blaze and everything. Just something like, oh, does that mean what we saw in that door was real? Like, something like that would have been...
That would definitely be cool.
Just, like, a little, like, pat on the back for doing all the things.
Yeah, I think I can definitely see that. That would have been cool. Though I also wonder if, like, they don't want the characters to know the word Phantasmal Blaze yet. They don't want, like, this is giving us an insight into what's to come, but the characters aren't allowed to know yet what's coming up, what Ouroboros is planning.
You know, for a potential remake coming down the line, I would even love something goofy to kind of resolve that, like, when you're in the star chamber or whatever, after the memory ends, be like, oh my god, blah, 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 revelation, and then you step through the door to go back out to the main plane, and it's like...
And forget.
Wait, what did I learn? Yeah, like a liminal space thing.
That'd be cute.
Like, you get to experience, react to the memory in the moment, and then step away. Like, the other thing I thought of was, you know, games like Bravely Default or whatever have, like, the party chats that are reactions to things that have happened in the story. Like, a little optional, like, party chat skit, like the Tales games do. Something just to react to each one would be fun, but yeah.
It is. And that would also be like, you know, it could be hard to have the characters, to try and write a scene where the characters talk to Ren about what they saw in her door, or where they talk to even Shira about what they see in her door. Like, there could be a certain words, like, I think there's a weird line that could be difficult to mess with.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're on the Arseille. Kevin does not disclose his revelation, but Josette discloses that something is in pursuit of us.
And it is none other than a Dragion. A silver Dragion, which we haven't seen a silver one yet. We've seen black and red, I think.
Where do they come from, man? Who knows? Well, Phantasma.
Yeah, we don't really get an explanation of what a Dragion is at any point.
Not really.
They look like a big bug more than a dragon.
I mean, we know that they're from, like, ancient Zemuria, like, same as, like, the Reverie thing. I think they mentioned that they are also from the same, like, type of, like, mech robot, like, lineage family.
Right.
I think one of the ones is called the Reverie. I think it was called the Reverie Dragion in, like, a boss fight in SC.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I think they are connected.
Okay. In any case, a silver one is pursuing us. I guess if we dreamed a better Arseille, then Phantasma must have dreamed a better Dragion.
Yeah, because it's faster than us.
And it's keeping up at 5,000 SPH as we sort of proceed.
We're like, well, shit, we better turn around and engage. And then Gilbert starts laughing. Ha, ha, ha.
It is Gilbert's time to shine. And he runs out of the room. And I actually love this.
It's so good.
In the moment, I was like, we are not giving fucking Gilbert a redemption moment right now, are we? So he goes out onto the deck and he's like, I've been waiting for this and I know what to do. I know how to be the hero that I always am. And says, come forth, my wings, cleaver of the clouds, bluer than the bluest sky. Come to me, my Giapachi. The funniest part in this scene with Gilbert, though, is that his idea works, and his Giapachi does appear, basically wagging its tail to see him.
Mm-hmm. It's so good.
We get a great cut to the inside of the Arseille, where everyone else is watching this on the screen, and Estelle has the brilliant line of just gorp.
Estelle gawp.
A word you don't see used often enough. Gorp.
And I do like that Josette says, oh, he was the one who attacked the bobcat. And I wonder if you get that line if you didn't play her Sundor.
Yeah, that's another spot, because they do start making correlations. Like, she connects that it was the Giapachi that shot down the bobcat, and then someone else says, yeah, we saw them elsewhere as well. Who is it?
In Grand Cell at the beginning of the game.
In Grand Cell, yes.
Reese, I think, says that.
So yeah, they're connecting the dots in the same way that we were as we worked through the doors. Again, that was kind of like, where it was like, oh, this would be a great, like, culmination, like,
yeah,
there's a couple references you could make to connect people's stories, blah, blah, blah. But this game is dense enough as it is, I suppose.
And technically, they're all referencing things that happened that they remember before they came into Phantasma, so it could be, it doesn't have to be tied to them reliving it through a door, but...
Exactly, just, like, an acknowledgement for us kind of, like, in the meta to say, like, oh, and here's how we know to make the connecting dots.
Yeah. But Mueller points out that he probably can't beat this thing, and Gilbert's like, shut up, I know, but I can keep it distracted, and I can't fit into your 4 parties of 4 formations for the final dungeon, so I might as well do this.
Yeah, and he does put up a decent fight for a little bit.
Yeah.
Until 2 more Silver Dragons show up, and he's just kind of like, ah, fuck, and just turns 90 degrees and runs off into the distance.
Yep. He's like, I wish there were more people to see what a hero I am. And then he run off. And of course, he's like yelling. He's like, wait. He says his whole cool thing about like, no, let me do this. Like, let me make the last stand here and I'll catch up to you later. And then as soon as the others appear, he's like, hang on, Arseille, I take back everything I just said. Get me out of here. But they're already out of range.
Yeah.
Or they're pretending to be.
Undercutting himself immediately. You love to see it.
I do like that they found a way to make him useful. Like, he had one moment to be useful and then undercut it.
What a boss of the year.
And it gives the excuse for us not to have him hanging around when we go into the final dungeon. They don't have to make him playable.
Thank God. I don't want to have to play as him. But with the Dragions, at least temporarily taken care of while Gilbert drives them away, we come up on our final destination out in the void, which kind of looks like Castle Oblivion from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. It's not a Howl's Moving Castle in that it doesn't move, but it has a bit of that, like, a bunch of stuff kind of, like, stuck on top of it that's not really in a neat shape.
Yeah, it feels very jumbled, very kind of cobbled together. In the same way that this, like, void is just a bunch of junk, it does kind of feel like our big final boss, Rufina, the Lord of Phantasma, has just kind of Lego bricked a bunch of pieces that she found together to build this final dungeon.
Yeah.
It's, like, up on this high, like, column... what do you call it? Like a mesa in a desert? Like an elevated platform?
A thing.
But yeah, it's just kind of towering above the rest of the wasteland. You get like a couple little hints of like buildings in some of those arcs that you saw in the previous cutscene to suggest this is a very, very big place.
Yeah, and we get another CG cutscene for it, which is fun. And there's a bunch of towers coming out of it, and all of them are like leaning over diagonally.
Yeah.
There's also like a giant globe on one place of it, just on its like it's got an ass. It's just a giant literal like looks like a globe of the world is just attached to its ass.
Interesting. And then in the CG cutscene, the big clock face on the front of the tower strikes to midnight. The arms sort of swing around. Some ominous bells chime, and the big giant doors at the front of the castle open, which is big enough for the Arseille to fly into. So this castle is frickin' huge. There are like 1 million locks running down the length of the door that all unlock at once. So this place was locked up tight.
Oh, yeah.
But ironically, the locks are on the outside, not the inside. So it implies that Rufina was locked in until we got here, which she wasn't because she was teleporting all over the place. But yeah, it looks cool is the main thing. It doesn't have to make sense.
And it's awesome. And we go inside and we see a bunch of staircases and 4 doors. So there's like 3 doors on the main floor and then 2 staircases that both lead up to one giant door on a little like elevated platform, 2nd floor.
Mm-hmm.
And Estelle says, the line that sums up this whole game, there sure are a lot of doors though. Honey, if you think 4 doors is a lot, you ain't seen nothing.
Honey, baby, sweetie, you've been through so many doors by now. I also appreciate that they were able to park the Arseille directly in the lobby of this castle, because it's just parked at the end of the scene, yeah.
Convenient design. Reese notes that the design seems to be based on the cathedral in Arteria, which is a place we've never seen, so that's cool to know.
Yeah, it's very kind of heavy and ornate and kind of opulent. It's a lot of like black and gold.
It's very gothic, like high gothic, like medieval architecture.
Yeah, there's like a big sort of summoning circle looking thing on the central floor. And just like patterning, it's not quite so like ancient texty as a lot of like cool buildings we've seen. This does seem like a different thing. It definitely feels distinct from everything else we've seen to date.
Yes.
So as we enter, Kevin shouts for Rufina, saying, come here, we made it. Let's do this shit. And she lols and then says, yeah, ha ha ha, welcome to Phantasmagoria, my castle.
Yes, this place has its own name, Phantasmagoria.
Yes.
It's on trend.
Mm-hmm. Phantasmagoria specifically, as a word, it's a form of horror theatre.
Oh.
Using lanterns to project frightening images like skeletons, demons, and ghosts.
That makes perfect sense.
It comes from French, phantasmagori via ancient Greek, phantasma for ghost, and
That's
agora for assembly or gathering, along with ia, meaning to speak publicly.
I feel like a bad theater kid. This may ring a bell or not. It's been a long time since I was studying theater, but that's awesome. I like it.
It's like a very, very old form of shadow play theatre.
Yeah.
To imply sort of supernatural ghosts and ghouls.
Very fitting.
It sounds like, yeah, it's another kind of subtle nod from Rufina being like, I know none of this shit is real and that's why I'm in charge of it and I can make it whatever I want. This is my theatre of demons and scares and goops and gags.
And then she tells us exactly what we're going to do. She says, now you're going to go through this dungeon in 4 groups of 4. Each of you through a different gate.
Yep.
That's the final plane game type thing. So there's been like a game or a conceit to every plane so far, and this is the final one.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, we're going to fight.
Hell yeah. The only other constraint she puts is that Kevin and Reese have to go through the big door. Everyone else can kind of go wherever they want, but those two have to come through the main gate because it sure seems like that's the big boss of the dungeon through the big door.
Mm-hmm.
We get a breakdown of the 4 paths, and they each have a special name. The front 3 in the smaller doors, we have the right gate, the Golden Giant, the left gate, the Black Guardian, the main gate, middle gate would have made more sense, the Crimson Lizard, and then the giant gate, the World's Will.
World's Will, the will of the world.
And these are not just flavor text, they are hinting at what we're going to face in each of these doors.
Oh, yeah.
But before we can face it, we have to divide up our parties. So, Lex, how did you divide up your parties? Who'd you put together? Do you remember?
Finally just said, fuck it, I'm going to follow a guide. I've mostly tried to do my own thing, partly because I was like, I want to make sure that like we get different dialogue and we have different things to partake, but there's not much dialogue in this part, and I was like, I'm just not up for this. I have to be done by tonight.
Yeah, like managing and planning for 16 party members is a lot without an auto-equip button. So I do not begrudge you that whatsoever.
We have things like this in later Trails games, but it's usually like you divide the party into 2 and you have like, your main 4 and then an extra 2 like supply members, I guess you would call them, where you switch in. Yeah. So it's not as, and because you can switch like equipment more easily.
Yeah.
Like, I think in most of the time when this kind of thing comes up, you can switch equipment between the teams. I think. I could be wrong with that, but I think you can usually do that. And because you have, like, extra party members, because usually we have a concept that comes up in later games where, right, you have members you can swap into the party, like a couple of extra reserve members.
Reservists, yeah.
Yeah, so if you have, like, your party is not, like, you can only use these 4 people in the party. When you split it up, you also have, like, a little extra. So it's not quite as strict as this.
Yeah.
And it can be quite fun to plan that kind of thing, but 4 parties is a lot more. Usually when they come up with this conceit again, it's, like, 2 parties. Occasionally, maybe 3. I think you do 3 once. And sometimes they split the party for you. Like, they don't make you decide who goes where. They're just like, here's the division, like, boys and girls or something.
Yeah, generally for those like split ones in future games where we have like a whole platoon of playable party members, they make sure to say like, oh, these 2 or 3 people are required for this mission, these 2 or 3 for this one.
Yeah.
You know, these 2 can't go together or whatever. They do a couple of times to make it a bit easier to have less variance in how effective your party can be for each dungeon. Yes. But here it feels a lot more restrictive because it's so locked in, it's so kind of separated after that. You can't swap equipment. Thankfully, they still have a shared inventory for the new stuff you're going to pick up. Yeah. But yeah, it's a lot harder to make adjustments after the fact because you kind of get one chance in each of these runs. You can't swap back and forth between them. So how about I run down my party and see if it's just the exact same thing you have? Because I feel like it probably will be.
I think it is. But yeah, go ahead.
All right. So for the right gate, the Golden Giant, I sent the Brace base, which was Shara, Estelle, Joshua, and Annalise.
Yeah, I think we used the same guide.
Yep. It was the cast of casters, which was Josette, Ren, Jin, and Julia.
The cast of casters plus Jin.
Plus Jin, yeah. He's just kind of there to make sure the squishies don't get mulched. For the main gate, the middle gate, I had Hometown Pride, which was Chloe, Mueller, Tita, and Richard.
Yes.
Because they're just representing for their respective homes, mostly Liberl, but then also Mueller's there. Mm-hmm. Oh, and sorry, main gate, that's the Crimson Lizard, which is the goofiest sounding one of the subtitles.
It's so funny.
The Crimson Lizard. For the giant gate, the World's Will, that was the boss squad, which was Kevin and Reese, of course, and Agate and Olivier.
Yeah, good stuff.
But I do love that even at this point, when you're setting up this final party, on a screen that doesn't really clearly communicate which path is going to assign which party.
Yeah, it does not.
You do still have the random button. I love the idea of getting this far into the game. Can you imagine facing down the final boss and be like, I'm just going to hit random and see what happens? Wild.
That'd be great, honestly. Wild.
I kind of want to go back to an earlier save and just see what happens if I do that. It sounds like it could be such a mess.
It could be. Though, at least you can still, like, do this and then change equipment. So you could just do it to, like, decide for you who goes where and then try to come up with a builds for everyone to, like, fit what they give you. Like, I could see that being kind of a fun challenge.
It would be. Like, a very lengthy challenge, but a fun challenge nonetheless.
Yes.
But yes, with the squads assigned, kind of vaguely understanding who was going where, Kevin gives his speech to everyone, which is basically, good luck, have fun, don't die.
Yep. You know, fair enough. Gets to the point. He's like, I'm not going to say any cliches. See ya, don't die.
Yeah, we're all getting out of this alive. See you at the end. Good luck and don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Then we have a cutscene with the programming nightmare of getting all the parties to run in the right direction to the right door.
Yeah, impressive work.
I do wonder if they actually... Because it's Trails, they could honestly have gone either way. I can see them doing it. Either they programmed a near infinite number of combinations from everyone going from their assigned spot to run in the other doors, or... while we were in the party select screen, they just reshuffle everyone so that, you know, party 1, A, B, C, D are in these spots and they run. Party 2, A, B, C, D move to these spots and they run. But it does kind of look like everyone crisscrosses when my parties were running. Yeah. So it's just like, that seems nightmarish. Who had to do that? Whose whole job was this one cutscene?
It's good stuff, though.
It's good stuff.
And we start with the right gate.
Yes. You can actually choose which order you want to do them in besides the main gate. The giant gate. You have to save Kevin and Reese's party for last. But yeah, just working down the list as presented, it goes right, left, main, giant. So that's just the order we're going to stick to for convenience sake.
Yeah.
That's it.
And there's not really that much to say about the actual dungeon themselves. The enemies are all kind of, not all, but most are kind of religious themes. You got a lot of, like, different types of angels.
Yeah.
And then some other kind of, like, horrific, but still, like, angelic, kind of, like, divine-ish beings. The chess messages in this area are fun, though.
Yeah, like, I love that the enemies are all kind of these, like, almost like mecha angels. There's very much like a like a Gundam quality to them, I think.
Yes.
But then, yeah, we get our chess messages back, which is the biggest news of the episode.
Exactly.
And they're all just, like, very positive and supportive.
Yeah, they're just wholesome.
It's like, I believe in you. You've got this. You've come so far.
And then there's some really sweet ones that are just messages from, like, people who worked on this. I think from people on the localization team
Yes.
who are just like, Trails means so much to me. I've loved working on these. I'm so glad we get to share this with you. Like, that kind of thing. And that's so lovely.
Yeah, it's just like they had a last chance to drop some in, and you can get the feeling that this would have been, like, the last batch that they wrote, because I feel like we have seen a progression from, like, clever to weird to kind of in-jokey to I'm tired of writing these messages as we progress through the game. And then there was a whole dungeon in hell where they just didn't write any.
Yeah.
And maybe that was just to give themselves a break, and then they came back for the final dungeon. I took a screenshot of a couple because there are some cute ones. There's one that just says, like, blank. And I'm like, yeah, that's, like, the totally phoned in one for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't really separate these per path, so I'll just go through and see what I've got. I had one that said, see you, Space Priest Boy.
Yeah, that was cute.
I thought that was a nice, cute Cowboy Bebop reference. I think I only spotted 2 sort of signed messages from staff. Did you get any more than that?
No, there's B and there's S.
Yeah.
Now I know who B is, I believe.
Okay.
She now goes by Leona Renee, but at the time she was working on this, her name started with a B, and she...
Oh, okay. Yep. The power of JRPGs, once again. Hell yeah.
She actually wrote a bunch of blogs about the localization process for
nice.
Xseed's blogs. She got like 4 or 5 where she talks about some of the writing process, some of how they picked the words, some of how the voiceover process in Cold Steel too. She talks about some of her funniest notes that she, like, because she went down and wrote a note next to every single line of dialogue that was going to be voiced in Cold Steel with, like, tone or, like, how to deliver it. And she's like, the ones I wrote when I was most tired are ridiculous. There's just, like, a spreadsheet she shared where she's just like, say this like you're swigging wine. Or just, like...
Hell yeah.
Like, just great little directions.
Yeah, we should see if there's, like, a category or, like, a master list of those articles that we can link to.
I don't know if there's a master list, but I can link the first one, and I think that within the first one it links to the second or something. Or we can put all 4. I think there's only 4.
Yeah, so we'll include that for a little bit of color and flavor. But yeah, working through these dungeons, they're all pretty similar. It's like the same pool of enemies for everything. I think the most change is like, there's a couple spots where you'll have a mid-boss halfway through the dungeon. There's just like regular enemies, and then after that you'll see those enemies in random encounters.
Exactly.
So you've got like a rod, a sword, and a bow angel, I believe. They've got like 3 flavors.
That sounds right.
Like a staff angel, maybe. Oh, Blade Angel, because that was the one I saw first, and that sounded like a cool 90s anime title.
Arrow Angel.
Rod Angel, and yeah, Staff. Not too challenging. It is, I didn't level up everybody before I went in here, so it was nice to see that everyone kind of conveniently got pushed to about level 140, 142 by the end of these dungeons.
Yeah, I leveled everyone to 130 before coming in here, and then everyone immediately levels to like 140 quite quickly, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I had a spread from like 126 was the lowest I remember seeing up to, like, Kevin was already at 140 when we walked in the door, so he didn't really shift much. I didn't end up making it to 149 as the max cap for anybody, because it was just a lot of dungeon.
I didn't even pay attention, but I probably didn't either. But yeah, and then when you reach the end of every wing, like, the characters have a few lines being like, I guess this is the end, and then a boss shows up, but you don't fight the boss yet.
Yes.
So the first boss that shows up...
The Golden Guardian. Would you believe it's a Golden Guardian that shows up?
It is.
Is in fact a bright, gold-plated Pata who drops in for the first fight.
Yes. And having Joshua in this party, he points out that this is the original prototype for Pata, so it's different and maybe even stronger. Now, I'm not sure why the first prototype is stronger than the final version.
What, didn't they have stuff in the Gordius door where they said, like, they had, like, more power? It was, like, stronger, but it was too heavy to lift off and stuff like that. Like,
oh, yes.
Because they were finding, like, the trade-offs to make it do all the things they needed. So, yeah, version 1 was super strong. Version 2 was weak but could fly, like that kind of thing. So we've just got, like, the good punch version, which they gold-plated for some reason.
All of these, except for the ones that Kevin's team is doing, they're, like, color swaps or palette swaps of bosses we've seen before.
With various levels of like justification for that. This one's probably the most justified.
We've heard about this exact creation before. It's come up before in Phantasma, so we have been planted the idea that Phantasma knows the blueprints for the prototype Potter. So there is some justification.
I was a little disappointed in the moment that I didn't know to bring Ren for this boss fight. I would love to see if she has any kind of reaction to seeing like proto Potter. So for the next one, we have the left gate, the Black Guardian.
Yes. And this is the Reverie boss, I think, from, or a version of the Reverie boss from the end of FC, but all in black.
Yes.
This is also kind of justified because the Reveries were guardians of the Oriole way back when.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they all kind of are justified. There's like sort of a connection with each. R11 Gespent is what they call it.
Oh, Genspent, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a pearlized version of the one we know. It's a little bit more uniformly colored compared to the more Lego Duplo looking one we fought last time.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we cut to black before we actually go into the fight, which lets us move it on to the middle gate. I'm just calling it middle gate. Main gate sounds stupid.
Yeah.
The Crimson Lizard. Nothing new as far as enemies. Like, I will just mention, like, the mid-boss fight in the first dungeon, the right gate, was a Sleipnir, which is kind of like a representation of Odin's horse from Norse mythology.
Yeah.
So it's all kind of like mythologic, like afterlife-y type stuff with the angels in them. And then the one that you fight in left gate is called Tildorn. I don't know what it's meant to represent, but it's a big circle guy.
Yeah, I didn't get the text for it because I didn't have an information quartz on me, so I didn't get the description, which is annoying. I wanted to know. Okay,
well, whatever it is, it's an enemy that recurs a lot in various versions because I'm getting Tildorns from all future games, like, you know, Tildorn Alpha, Tildorn Purple. He's just a big circle guy. He's probably from the Circle Afterlife. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
In the main gate for the Crimson Lizard, the mid-boss is just a Sleipnir again, so they don't even have 3 new enemies to introduce. The pool's pretty limited in this final dungeon run, but they are designing like 4 massive boss fights for us, so it doesn't really matter.
Both Sleipnir and Tildon are described as guardians of heaven, that the Tildon can see sin, and the Sleipnir guards heaven and scorches the earth below.
There you go. But yeah, we get to the end of the Crimson Lizard path, and we find a Crimson Lizard. It is, in fact, a red palette swap of Ragnar the Dragon.
They call him the R-Tycoon, I think, which is wild.
Yeah. No real justification for this one. Maybe this is just he went for a beach day and forgot to wear sunscreen.
I mean, there is a connection between Ragnar and the Oriole, but, like, he's never been part of the Oriole, right? There's just some sort of historic connection between him and Adios and the Oriole or whatever. But why is he red? No idea.
I was trying to remember why Red Ragnar rang a bell, and I figured it out. It's because in the Elder Scrolls game, I think Skyrim specifically, Ragnar the Red is an annoying song that all the bards sing in the bars throughout the game.
That's awesome.
And that was the connection I'm making. So maybe it's based on some Norse mythology thing as well, like a red dragon named Ragnar or Ragnard or something. It would make sense to kind of align it with everything else. But yeah, it's kind of the least explained one, but that we needed a big boss and we already had the 3D model for a dragon. So let's go.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, Ragnar without a D is probably the reference. That was like a legendary Viking king. Ragnar, who Skyrim's referencing, and but Ragnar Lodbrok, if I'm pronouncing that right. And he's one of those like semi-mythological figures like King Arthur, who like maybe there was a person this is based on, but the stories about them are not like based on real events that happened.
Okay, well, cool. Maybe he does have some justification then. Well done, Dragon.
Good times.
So with the first 3 paths kind of ready to go at the final bosses, we are allowed to enter the giant gate, the World's Will, which is the longest of the 4 paths. Again, not really any new enemies. Throughout these 4 dungeons, we are getting some sort of end-tier equipment.
Yep.
In the chest, you find a weapon, or a semi-ultimate weapon for every party member that you've chosen for that party. Mm-hmm. So even if they didn't get the, final weapons, the Zemurian or final weapons, you still have an option for a final upgrade, even though the game was very, very adamant that you upgrade and equip everybody before you left for this dungeon. Like, they were really in your face about it.
Yeah, it's
but
funny.
you get enough equipment for everyone to get a new weapon that's semi-ultimate. For from looking at the stats on the folks I did have Zemurian weapons for, it wasn't that much of a gap underneath.
What's interesting is that some of them have variations. So, like, I actually didn't give Reese or Kevin the Zemurian ore weapons because I realized that the magic, the ATS stat on the weapons they can get here is higher than the ATS, even though the attack stat of the Zemurian ore is higher. So I was like, okay, so like there are differences in terms of like the ATS versus the like regular attack.
I'm the kind of RPG player who only ever cares about the strength stat on a weapon. Anything else is just flavor text to me. So what's the thing I can hit the hardest with? Partly because, like, whenever I'm running through and not doing a boss fight, I'm generally just doing, like, physical attacks to charge CP, so I just want the quickest bonk.
I'm using magic a lot. I like magic.
I've never gotten into the habit of using magic heaps.
I like using AoEs. If it's single target, I'm not using magic.
Yeah.
But once I have a bunch of AoEs, I'm just like spam it.
Oh, yeah, definitely once we get into the later games where AoEs are more prevalent and given to you earlier, where here they're kind of like a treat for doing enough.
Yeah, now I have 1 billion, but it takes a while to get many. You're stuck with only Ariel and like Hellgate for a long time.
I do appreciate that as the games wear on, that kind of single target thing just becomes like small radius targeting, so you can kind of math it out to hit a couple people. So you get final weapons for everybody, semi-final weapons for everybody, as well as a bunch of heaven-themed armor gear. It's all like Raphael's robe and Michael's halo, stuff like that.
And Artemis's shoes, who is the like kind of odd man out, because that's, I mean, heavenly, like Artemis is a god, but a Greek god, not like an archangel, whereas like Michael and Raphael are like...
Oh, that's right, because it's like Artemis's heels specifically, because it's the girl equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like nothing says final battle against like god tier enemies like a stiletto.
Right.
But yeah, so I was just collecting all this, not swapping in for anything, because I just wanted to fully kit out my final party, because I think you get enough equipment that you get at least 2, maybe 3 sets of the male versus female only equipment, so...
Oh, you get a lot of sets, yeah.
You should be able to fully kit at least one complete party.
With some extra, yeah.
Assumably your final boss party.
Yes. And then, there's also one chest message I want to shout out in the last stretch. We get Niago, our kitty talk.
Oh, I must have missed that one.
Oh, no!
Oh, I swore I checked all of them, but there we go. Oh, and I'll sing out the 2 messages from the developers that we mentioned, what they actually say.
Oh, yes, let's do that.
So B's message was, Trails means the world to me. I'm happy I could share my world with you. Thank you for giving this wonderful series a chance. So we've identified B.
Yep. As now goes by Leona Renee, is B. And then the other, I think, is going to be... I think his name is Scott something. Let me just double check. Scott... It's probably Scott Tiarina, who...
Okay.
No. He was in the Azure team, but he passed away. But he only worked in Azure. So hang on, let me see. I don't know who S is. No, because the 3 people who come up as the leads on localization, no name starts with an S.
A mystery. Or maybe another transitioned translator. But the mystery S tells us, I feel blessed to have gotten the opportunity to work on this series. I feel like it was a lot of luck to get this chance. If we're lucky, maybe we'll learn your identity S when an eagle-eyed and eagle-eared listener chips in to let us know who it was, because I feel like every time we've stumbled on a piece of minute trivia about this series, there is someone just waiting in the wings saying, damn, I've been dreaming of my chance to deliver this tidbit.
Please let us know, yes.
So please, bit that tid if you've got it.
Exactly. Anyway, after that diversion that took longer than we planned, what does Niago mean? Do you remember off the top of your head?
Oh, I don't off the top of my head, but that's why I have screenshots. Niago is, it's been a while, how have you been?
Aw, it has been a while since we got chest messages because we didn't get any in the 7th plane. That's cute.
It has one last translation use for the cat dictionary.
Beautiful. And
God bless.
This is also because they were localizing Cold Steel next. They initially skipped the Crossbell games to try and catch up a bit. At the time, these were going through the last chest messages we ever got. We got very lucky that when we eventually got that Team Geofront decided to make chest messages when they did their translation, which ended up being purchased to become the official translation of the Crossbell games. Mm-hmm. But at the time, these were going to be the last chest messages. So this is also meant as kind of a goodbye to chest messages.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned that a bit before on the show, but worth shouting it again.
After opening all of the chests and fighting the same 6 or so enemies over and over again. We make it to the end of the giant gate path to the world's will.
Did you?
And our final boss is, surprise, surprise, gonna be Rufina.
Who could have seen that coming? And Rufina's first thing Rufina has to say is, by the way, I saw everything that happened to you down in Gehenna. You know, when you were suffering and struggling. I was watching. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go.
And Kevin basically is like, says some stuff about, you know, how he can't live up to Rufina. He's not as good as her. He's in her shadow. He's not as good as she was when she was alive. And Rufina's here like, well, that's gonna make this really hard. If you don't even have any confidence, you can take me. And Kevin's like, well, luckily, I don't have to be able to take Rufina because you're not Rufina. And everybody reacts as though this is a shocking reveal, even though we very much covered this last chapter.
Yeah.
But I guess what is kind of being revealed is that this is his stigma. Oh, wait, I skipped the other thing that's coming up here, which is that Kevin has figured out that soon Phantasma is going to start encroaching on the real world and changing things there.
Yes. Now that Phantasma has been booted up again for the first time in, like, centuries, all of the backlog of, like, ambient wishes it's been absorbing from the people of Liberl are just starting to, like, stack up in the queue.
Yes.
Like an office printer. And it's just going to overload the system, basically. Even with all this, like, void space around it, the functioning space within the 7 planes is pretty finite. And so eventually it's just going to bleed into the real world and start eroding reality, is how she puts it, to relieve the strain.
Just casually.
She does kind of like cheekily say, maybe that's a good thing. You know, if everyone in the country is pure of heart and wishes for the world to be a better place, the world will be a better place. Wouldn't that be great, actually? And Kevin, our resident pessimist, says, nah, man, I don't think that's going to work out great at all, actually.
Well, not after what happened with the Oriole. He says, we've tried this before as a human species. It didn't go well. We're not going to do that again.
Yeah, we tried this once in ancient history, and we basically turned into Wall-E. So we don't need to do that again. It's going to work out the same way.
And 1,200 years later, we're still having to clean up after that mess.
So maybe not that one, actually.
Maybe not.
Fake Rufina? Because you are fake. You aren't the real Rufina. Oh my god. It's the stigma copy that Phantasma made when it scanned Kevin's trauma.
Yeah. It's kind of presented, I guess, like it has merged with Rufina, like the real Rufina and her, and kind of taken her over. But it is a little weird, like, Reese and Kevin were very much like, no, the real Rufina would never say this last chapter. And so now they're suddenly like, oh my god, what do you mean it's not the real Rufina? That was a little surprising.
It's a little mixed. I feel like maybe the distinction they're trying to make is this isn't just like a photocopy of real Rufina who's been created in Phantasma. It's actually just a physical appearance chosen to cause the most trauma.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And so yeah, once he says, haha, you're not Rufina, you're a stigma, she starts levitating into the air, which is never a good sign.
That's some Sephiroth shit. And Kevin's like, I'm not going to lose to my own fucking stigma. That would be embarrassing.
Yep.
So I'm going to beat you up. And the stigma is like, I'm going to devour you, my original, and become fully complete, and then I can, like, destroy the world. And all my minions are now going to go kill your friends in their own boss fights. So, ha ha ha. If even one of your friends fails, you know you can never escape Phantasma if any of your friends dies. So if you get a game over, you've doomed Zemiria.
Yeah, it's making the Arseille fly rules. It's all or nothing. She transforms into the stigma. So physically, we just see the big red Y, kind of gigantic in the same way that we saw it the first time when he first materialized it.
Yeah.
It's like 3 to 5 times the height of our sprites. And then transforms into like a mechanical version of the stigma, kind of in the same shape.
It announces that its name is Anima, which just means soul. Mm-hmm. Which, yeah, a stigma is carving on a soul, so it named itself Soul. That makes sense. Yeah. And then the version of it transforms itself to is called Anima Mundi, which means the soul of the world soul.
The world's will, one might say.
Exactly. And that's a concept in Gnosticism and Stoicism and like some other sort of religious and philosophical traditions. And Trails loves to make references to these kinds of things, right? And to these like esoteric kind of belief systems or religions or mysticism and stuff like that. So that tracks.
Nighty-night.
But we're not fighting it yet because we have 3 other final bosses to fight before the final boss.
Yeah, we've got to do that cool wiggle transition on the screen that I love. They've used like 2 or 3 times maximum in this game.
Yeah.
And then we get to cycle through all of our bosses in a boss run.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. It definitely feels less exhausting when you have 4 parties to do it with rather than the same party fighting like a 4-stage final boss.
For sure.
It's more like the energy of like the finale of Final Fantasy VII original.
Yeah.
Where you get to sort of work through everybody.
Of 3 parties, yeah.
Everyone gets their moment to shine in the final boss except for Gilbert. So we start off with Gordius Type 0, the big golden Pardamata.
Yes.
Which surprisingly is the easiest of all of the bosses when Pardamata was such like a brick house to fight originally.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
He shows up with some angels that you can wipe out pretty well. I'm sure that for most people they've done what I've done, which is you make sure you're at 200 CP for everybody for the final boss and then just kind of like paint the walls with their blood by smashing them one after the other.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, didn't take long to take that one down, really.
Yeah, it took a little longer in normal difficulty, I guess, but like it wasn't difficult, it just took a bit longer because they have more HP.
Yeah.
Then I took on, what's his face, the Reverie-esque thing.
R11 Genspest.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, S-Craft's gone before it could do anything really notable.
Yeah, no, that one definitely, I couldn't S-Craft them all to death. Like, I did have to do, like, longer, like, I did have to do, like, a full battle with all of them. They weren't terribly difficult. Like, no, my guys weren't dying.
Yeah, it's scaling up a little bit.
Yeah.
Then I found R-Tycoon, the Red Dragon, did hit pretty hard, even in easy mode. He actually managed to wipe one party member at one point with just, like, a really powerful attack.
Oh, interesting. He wasn't that bad for me. I found him, I think, easier than the others, actually.
Oh, interesting.
Because he was slower, I think, was what it was, or his mobs were slower, I think, was the reason.
Yeah, fair.
Or no, yeah, I found he did a lot of pushing me away attacks, but they weren't doing that much HP damage.
Okay.
And he wasn't canceling my crafts too much.
Yeah. The big thing for me was that I decided to have, like, a dramatically pointed, like, final strike.
Yes.
So I gave Alan Richard the final strike with his S-Craft, which did result in an incredibly sick screenshot that I'm now sending you. Because he ends his S-Craft by doing, like, an anime pose before everyone falls down. And when you do it against a red dragon, it looks sick as hell.
Awesome. That's pretty cool. Jumping in the air, yeah.
Yeah, doing his cool, like, Sakura Morning Moon is what it's called, I think, or Evening Moon.
He's very cool. I think it's morning, but whatever it is.
Sakura Time of Day Moon. So he got that as his final strike, which I really enjoyed. It's a nice little, like, redemption cool moment for Alan Richard.
Yes.
Before leading us into the final boss, Anima Mundi, the world's will.
Yeah, this one definitely took longer for me. I mean, there's a few phases to it. Not like hugely, not like transforming, but it does palette swaps where it changes its element or like gears up its defense. And it summons these pillars, like 7 of them for each element. All of them have to be destroyed before, like it has a barrier on it.
Yeah, that was tough, yeah.
Now, I had agate, so I knew I had agate too. So I could just S-Craft whenever those things showed up and they all were gone in one blow. I had not used any Zerum capsules or powders, so I could just, like, pop those on him, pop Kevin's, but I needed Grail Sphere. I could just drug my guys and pop things.
Definitely the first time I've been, like, consistently using those healing items. So yeah, it's always nice to burn through the Celestial Bombs and the Zerum stuff right at the end that you've been saving for literally no reason the entire game.
But this apparently was why. I didn't know.
I will note the transformation into this final boss is a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
The stigma turns into the robo-stigma.
Yes.
And then the pieces sort of rearrange into like a weird Stargate and poop out a demon butterfly mech.
Yes, it does do that.
Because he's got big, pretty butterfly wings, but one of those nasty little demon faces that all of these battles have.
Yep.
Yeah, he's wild looking. He has multiple stages, so the first thing he's gonna do is summon all those pillars, but you get a bit of time, depending on how fast your party is, to like knock him around before that. So I think I managed to get him down like a quarter of health by the time he summoned his pillars, and they were actually tough to take down.
Oh, he summoned them before I had a turn.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I think he's a lot faster than normal. Like, all of these bosses, I went before me, and my party's pretty fast, so they're just really speedy.
Yeah, it's a tough segment because you get 7 pillars, 1 for each element. You have to take all of them down before you can hit Anima again. And if as soon as they're summoned, they all start casting, and depending on how many pillars left, the spell he casts, I believe, is more powerful, because you do get a note as you take down each pillar, like, the power has been weakened or whatever.
See, I only ever took them all out at once, because I had just S-craft them, as had Agate take them out every time.
Didn't do that. I think Agate was the only one who walked into the final battle not quite at full 200.
Tragic.
So I was using everyone else and managed to get like 2 or 3 of them at a time, but I was also relying on arts a bit more at this point. So yeah, you can get kind of like battered around a few times. I did have to burn a few zerums, even on easy mode, easy baby child mode that I've been playing this entire time. I have no shame.
What's annoying about this battle is that how it can cancel all of your buffs constantly. Like, so, because I like to use spells buffs, I like to put on shields, I like to do that, and it would just cancel them constantly. And or my clock up X I like using, and it would just keep canceling it, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I didn't run into like cancelling so much. I was very glad that this is one of the few battles that I remembered to use Grail Sphere at the start, because it meant that the first 2 like column smashes that he did to me just bounced off, because they did a 200 CP Grail Sphere for 2 defenses.
No, I was constantly reapplying Earth Wall or Grail Sphere throughout this fight, yeah.
Yeah, but then when he finally hit me in the third round, because also it seems like the more times he goes through the column thing, the faster the spell charges.
Interesting.
Because it definitely seemed like the third round he like smashed it out a lot quicker. Maybe it's like as you take out columns, the countdown is slower because you've got fewer targets to take out or something.
Maybe.
But the third time he did it, he wiped out 3 or 4 of my party members.
Oh dear.
So it was just Reese standing there with like 200 health left going, guys, how quickly can I like pop a zerum?
Jesus.
But I managed to bring everyone back in the end. The next stage after that, he has a big mega cannon attack. Did you get hit with this one?
I think I was shielded every time, but he did definitely load it up for me.
Yeah, I think this was the other time he took down some of my party.
He hits hard.
Yeah, the demon butterfly goes boom and then flies up to space and shoots you from space. Like,
yeah.
I think it's meant to represent the world of Phantasma, but it sure looks like he flies to space outside of Zemuria, which is a thing that's going to be a bigger deal in about 10 games' time. You see all of Phantasma, and then it kind of transforms into like a wooby digital looking thing, and then he shoots it with a laser from space and it all explodes. That's some final boss shit right there. Detonating the world for one special move.
Yeah, good stuff. Oh, the other thing he does that's annoying is he does what Weissman does, where he could just makes the area smaller and smaller, like makes blocks disappear. It's not quite as bad as like when Weissman was just trying to like vanish your party members constantly, but like you do get a narrower and narrower like walkway platform to be on.
Oh yeah. Like I've literally got that in my screenshot and I had not noticed that the battlefield had shrunk. I don't know how I missed that. Maybe it's because I was just like popping abilities rather than thinking about movement so much, because until right at the end, none of his attacks are directional. It's mostly just like all effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did eventually chip him down. Oh,
and he summons at mobs that self-destruct, which is annoying. Like when you kill them.
The Grand Grimoires, yeah.
Yes.
They detonate. Which I guess, yeah, as your floor space is getting smaller, that's a bigger problem as well. But I managed to get him down under 1,000 HP before landing the final strike, which, of course, I gave to Kevin as a basic crossbow attack. So his very last shot of the game is just crossbow out, just like at the end of SC, patunk, and the final boss is dead.
I was planning to do that. I can't remember if he got it or Rufina got it anymore, because it was down to the 2 of them, and I was like, fuck it, one or the other is going to get it, and I don't even remember. I might have gotten Rufina. I might have just decided, fuck it, I'm going to S-craft. I don't want to deal with another round of this.
Reese, yeah.
Reese, sorry, not Reese. Yeah. I'm not as big on the final boss fight. I'm just like, I just want to end it.
Yeah, it was so convenient. It's just like, oh, look whose turn it is, and look how little health there is.
Yeah.
Insult to injury is always like a nice thing for a big boss, to not take them out with like a grand final strike, but just to kind of like backhand them to death.
That is fun.
So we take down Anima Mundi.
Yeah.
And the game's almost over. We've defeated the Master of Phantasma.
We have. The stigma turns light blue now, because now it's not evil anymore.
I guess so.
Yay.
That happened when his stigma flipped polarities in the real world, so maybe this is like backwards stigma copy.
Something like that.
It's gone through the same emotional growth as he did earlier in the game.
How about that? But then we get sucked away into that weird little face-based platform where we faced Louve a few chapters ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all of us, it's just Reese and Kevin. Because now we need a more emotional confrontation. We can't have eavesdroppers.
And who should appear before us but Rufina, no longer in her Lord of Phantasma attire, but instead in her regular working clothes, her Gralsritter gear.
Yep.
She's ready to have a conversation. I also appreciate that we're reinforcing that Rufina is not back because she is tinted blue like a Force ghost, just like her profile art.
Yep.
To really sell that this is not a real person, much like Celeste, this is an AI clone.
Sort of, yeah. That's kind of the vibe, though you can interpret one way or another. Like, you could try to interpret, like, is it more like Louve, where there is a bit of the real person who's been brought into this, or is it fully a clone? But it seems like it's more of a Celeste thing.
Yeah, like, she's been recreated in Phantasma from the memories and knowledge people have of her, and the two people who know the most about her, her brother and sister, basically. So it's like a very convincing copy.
Yes.
And now that it's free from the stigma bad influence, she's more free to kind of interact as though she were Rufina.
Yeah.
To kind of give that catharsis. It's catharsis time.
It is. And she tells us that the stigma is not completely gone. She's just managed to suppress it because of us winning that fight. But she won't be able to keep that up indefinitely. It's gonna power back up again. And she wants Kevin to kill her so he doesn't do that. Because what are we gonna do? It's time to relive all our trauma in a literal sense.
But we do see some growth from Kevin. He's very smart. He asks the question up front. Is this the only way? Is there literally any other option besides killing you? And Rufina smiles and says, no, this is truly the only option, just like it was last time.
Yeah. And
you do gotta do it, otherwise eventually this shit's gonna go down all over again. Could take hundreds of years, but it's gonna happen again.
Yeah. Is no bueno. You can't just opt out. You got to do it. And if once you kill me, then all of you and all your friends can actually go back to the real world, which also kind of adds another level of, like, you have to do this because, like, everybody else is also trapped here if you don't do it.
She does say one line that stood out to me in this moment, though, when she's asking to be killed. She says to Kevin, as your sister, as a fellow knight, and as a mother, this is the last thing I'll ever ask you to do. I assume she's just implying that she was, like, maternal-ish to him.
That she kind of raised him.
But she also addresses him as a brother in the same conversation.
Yeah.
I was just like, is there a secret kid, or is this, like, one of those stories from the 50s where actually your younger sibling is your kid secretly?
I think this is a thing where she was both, like, a mother and a sibling to both Reese and Kevin. Like, she was kind of the maternal figure who raised them, as well as a sibling. And I think that's what she's saying here. But I don't think it's meant to be that she's actually, like, Reese's mother.
Yeah, Trails in the Sky, the era of muddy familial dynamics.
Truly. But no, I don't think that's quite what we're going with here. But yeah, we also get this note from Rufina that last time, like, you could barely remember what was happening. You weren't really aware when you first killed me. This time, you're going to be completely aware and in control. And, like, this might be worse for you. I'm sorry about it.
Yeah.
Kevin's feeling better about it, though. Reese is not happy that Kevin's being asked to do this. She's like, this is a really fucked up thing to ask. Reese basically is like, no, Kevin, you can't do this alone. I'm not going to say you can't do it, but, like, I won't let you take this burden on by yourself. After last time, the damage it did to you, the way you did all those years, the two of us apart, like, losing you, like, I need to be a part of this too. You can't just take this on without me and think you're protecting me. And
yeah.
So they decide to do it together.
Yes, nothing bonds you more than sharing trauma. So We're going to team up for a 2-for-1 kill. We have some cute but kind of traumatic sprites of them sort of holding each other's hand and then aiming the crossbow together. Then they literally show us the shot. I was 100% expecting, like, a cut to black and then a ka-chunk of the crossbow going off.
No.
But we literally watch the crossbow shoot out a bolt, hit her in the chest, at which point she floats, stigmatizes, and disappears.
Yeah. It's something. There's also this little exchange about how Kevin and Reese are determined to follow in her footsteps and basically try to solve all the problems in the world, even though they know that's an impossible goal.
And she pushes them like, I don't just want you to pursue my goals, I want you to go farther than I ever could have imagined.
Yes, but also don't get burnt out. Like, take care of yourselves. Pace yourselves.
Yes. Solve the world and self-care.
And she asks both of them to take care of the other one, and then floats off, I guess, to like heaven or nothingness. And then Kevin is like, I know that we're gonna see her again one day after we've like finished everything, like, you know, in death or whatever. We'll see her again.
Yeah.
And Reese just breaks down sobbing, and that's when we fade out. I like that they didn't have it be like, you know, they're just like, okay, after doing it. Like, obviously, in some ways, I think it's interesting. It's like they're reliving this trauma in a way that is a better version of Kevin's not losing control of himself, doing this horrifically violent, over above and beyond, you know, massacre, losing his memory, out of control. Like, he's making a choice, knowing it, and knowing that he's being asked to do it, in fact.
Yeah.
Reese is not having the experience of being cut off from what's happening and not knowing what's happening to her family. She's part of it. She's active. She gets to support Kevin, and so he's not shouldering this guilt alone and keeping her out. So in some ways, it's a better version of the original, but also in another way, it's like, now you have to knowingly recreate your worst trauma.
Yeah.
So I like that they didn't have them just be like, okay, we're at peace with what we did now. Like, Kevin's got a bit of that, or is trying to talk himself into that, and Reese just, like, breaks down crying. Because, like, yeah, that's fucking traumatizing. And, you know, you get the impression she's gonna be okay. Like, she's not gonna do a Kevin and spend the next 5 years trying to punish herself for this, but it's fucked her up.
Yeah, fair enough, honestly.
As it should, frankly. It would be concerning if it didn't fuck you up to do this.
Yeah, that would be more of a warning sign, to be honest.
Yeah. But then we wake up.
As we wake up back with everybody else, we get confirmation from Celeste that her power is back, now that Rufina and the Stigma are resolved.
Rufina and the Stigma sounds like a band, can I just say?
Rufina and the Stigma. So we'd better get going, because now that the core of this whole world is gone, the world's gonna crumble.
Whoops.
And quick! We need to get out of here real quick. And everyone's like, oh shit, how are we going to do that? Do we got to get back to the Arseille and fly out in a cool dramatic way? She says, no, for you see, Rufina has prepared the gates of heaven for us.
The stairway to heaven.
She cooked them up earlier. They were just waiting there for us to activate when we're done. Which kind of implies that good guy Rufina was in there somewhere, and it was just like preparing a path for when evil Rufina was defeated.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. It's
like
again, sort of motherly and caring of her.
Yes.
Now that the path is open, we can crack the gates. They are the counterpart to the gates of Gehenna. So they'll do the reverse. Instead of taking us to hell, they'll take us out of here to reality.
And we do get, it is a stairway up to these gates. It is the stairway to heaven.
Mm-hmm. There's a cool, like, summoning circle thing with all the ancient glyphs that we're used to seeing from, like, the sealed area and stuff before the gate appears high up in the sky. And I was like, oh, is it going to float down? No, it's got glowing steps. So It looks as cool as possible.
Yeah, I do think there is something, it's like metaphorically like this gate to a brighter future for these characters, right? Like everyone, the last time we see them physically in this game is as they go through this gate, and we kind of see them going off into a hopeful future.
And I also appreciate for like the nitpickers in the audience, she does clarify, okay, so when you go through the gate, you're gonna appear nearish to where you disappeared from. But also specifically, if you were on an airship when you were teleported here, you will return to the airship itself, not the space of sky that you were in. So just like, nobody's got to worry. Everyone's going to show up in like a safe zone.
You're not going to fall to your death from a billion miles in the air.
Yeah, our teleportation tech has safety measures built in. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
You're finished!
But then everyone's just kind of stunned to think that things are just done.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I guess it's over. We fixed it, and now we can leave, and there's no great obstacle to leaving. Huh.
And we also have to leave. We're not really going to hang out for a second. We're just got to go right this second.
We've got to hurry, but not so much that everyone can't have an outline.
Yeah. And everyone's kind of like, oh god, like it's over. We're all going to part ways now. And then you see Richard and Jin kind of off to the side with some ... dots over their heads. And then they both turn around and they're like, okay, we'll be the first to go.
Yeah.
Well, we're pretty sure you're all just going to stare into space because none of you want to be the first to go. And we're the two oldest here, so we'll just like bite the bullet. Yeah.
Everyone, as they sort of one by one go through the gates, gets to have like a little button on their personal story, kind of like a last remark. Alan Richard comments that, his experiences here have really helped him resolve some doubts within himself and be ready to move forwards.
Mm-hmm.
He's very happy to work with everyone again in future. I think even Chloe's like, yeah, I'll be calling on you. Don't worry about it. We'll keep your marketing business in the black.
Yes.
And Jin invites everyone to come visit him in Calvard and see Kilika if they want to.
Olivia's like, oh, I'll take you up on that. And Mueller's like, you have way too much work to do. Like, you can't go yet.
I'm mad that you got to have this trip away, so you're not having one that you actually planned for.
And then, on that note, those two are the next to leave, Olivia and Mueller.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh was surprised. He's like, I'm surprised that you're not trying to, like, milk this to the very end. Olivia starts joking at first, and he's like, oh, Joshua, I want to take you as my prince and run away with you back to the real world or whatever. And then he's like, okay, but actually, like, I think if I don't bite the bullet now, it's going to be harder. Like, I really don't want to go, so I'm going to force myself to go now.
Yeah.
He even says, like, I'm feeling uncharacteristically emotional about this whole thing coming to an end.
Yeah, I've loved this version of Olivier where he's like, makes the same joke he always would, and then he just like underpins it with like a sincere afterthought.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what he does. He makes his joke about Joshua, and then before he leaves, he says, oh, by the way, Shara, I hope you'll be able to give me an answer to that question sometime.
Yes. Give it some serious thought.
And she's like, I will, and I'll let you know eventually. And everyone else is like, did we miss something? And the answer is yes.
Do you have a thought on what this question is?
I do, and it is something that will pay off down the line.
I think the read of this is the characters are like, did he propose to her? But I think the actual answer is probably he's asked her to really consider trying to actually date or like trying to maybe have a relationship as opposed to just this like flirtation they've had for a while. That like, obviously that would be a big change to her life and both of their lives to like have an international royal romance or whatever.
Yeah.
My take on this is that he probably is like, I'd like to actually like for real try something with you. And that's, I know, a big ask because that would change your life a lot. So please like think about it and let me know. And Shira's thinking seriously about it.
It was like the end of FC where he invited her out to dinner or something, if I'm remembering right.
I think so.
So yeah, probably just a bit of payoff on that. Like, I know I'm a goofball, but I'm in my princely era and I want to sort of move forwards and I would love to take you out to dinner for realsies.
Yes.
Not that they disclose this directly, but that definitely feels like the vibe.
Yep. And then we get a little more flirting with Olivier and Mueller just so that we know that they're still boyfriends.
Yeah.
Olivier is just expanding his polycule. And then Vander's like, I will drag you back if you don't walk out.
Yeah, then to everyone else, he says, hey, everybody, just warning you, it seems like the Erebonian Empire has some stormy times ahead, so maybe don't book any travel to Erebonia in the near future if you don't have to.
No non-essential travel, please.
I would say maybe just keep your distance. Yeah, which is ominous. But then they proceed off through the door. Our next pair who decide it's time to move on are Shara and Annalise. Shara is very funny. She's like, well, everyone who's here still, I can see whenever I want, so I really have no reason to hang out anymore.
Except Joshua and Estelle who are traveling, but like, it's not that hard to see you. And she's like, also, they seem to have been doing a lot of work on the orbital communication system, so that'll be easier. And it's like a hint for something, mayhaps.
Oh my. Then Annalise says goodbye to all the girls, specifically, all the cute girls. She's like, I'm going to miss all of the cute girls specifically.
As she should.
And then says, Ren, I have a question for you. Do you like Joshua and Estelle? Just keep that question in mind.
Yeah.
Just think about it.
She calls herself your big sister Annalise, which is also cute. Then Shara and Annalise run up. By the way, everybody runs up to these gates, right? Nobody can just like walk up. Everybody's like sprint all the way up this like giant staircase.
It's a lot of stairs to sprint up, so the cardio's on point.
It is. And next up is Tita and Agate, who are like, might as well be us. There's this really sweet moment between Tita and Ren.
Yeah.
Tita is, she's like, oh, I'll miss all of you. And Ren, I'm really going to miss you. And Ren's like, really? You mean it? Like, in a very vulnerable way that's, like, not usually Ren's vibe.
Yeah.
Tita's like, I can't, like, say something thought-provoking to you, like Annalise, and I can't chase you across the continent like, Joshua and Estelle, but I'll always be waiting for you. And Ren gets kind of flustered by this, and then she's like, well, you do whatever you like, as long as you don't slack on your orbital gear. Powder Matter welcomes all challengers, which is a really cute... Not just third person about Ren, but about Powder Matter as her, like, to say, like, I am excited for you to do this thing and for us to hang out and, like, bond over our mechs.
I love Agate's reaction in the moment as well. He's just like, I swear, kids sure are violent these days.
Yeah, I noted that down too. That was great.
With his goofy-ass smile. And then it's Agate's turn, and he says, hey, Kevin, you really did your big one this time. Well done. Good job. Go off. And Kevin's like, okay, thanks.
But also, Tita's mom is going to blame me for this whole mess, so that's no fun. You also have, after this moment, Estelle is just like, man, why can't men have emotional intelligence in conversations? Why is it always so awkward when they try to say anything sincere to each other?
Which is also kind of funny considering the conversation between the two emotionally available girls was, I'm going to fight you, so they're really not doing much better.
Oh, that's up next, yeah.
I mean, both sides. Like, you've got Josette fighting on one side, and then you've got Tita and Ren preparing to fight each other in the future on the other side.
Oh, that's what you're referencing, yes.
I don't think that men are the most violent one in this room.
No, but I do like that Estelle can never miss an opportunity to, like, diss men.
Never, ever.
It's like, Estelle, you are the most emotionally intelligent person in this room as long as you're not talking to Josette.
That's your weak point, yeah.
It's only her, and then everyone else, she's like, I can therapize everybody in this room, and I have therapized most people in this room. Everyone owes their mental health to me, except you, Josette. Fuck you, I'm gonna push you off the Bobcat. But before we get to that, Chloe and Julia are headed off.
Mm-hmm.
Chloe is, Estelle, Joshua, it's so nice to hang out with you. And then she's really nice to Josette. She's like, Josette, it's been really nice getting to know you. We should hang out sometime.
Yeah, I like this.
Josette's flattered by that.
Yeah, she's on board. She's like, yeah, I'm in Grand Cell all the time. We can definitely make that happen. It's nice that they had this little, like, friendship arc through all the scenes in the garden.
Yeah.
Going from her being kind of, like, freaked out about a princess to now they're just, like, buds.
Estelle's a bit jealous, and Josette's like, yeah, well, you can't do, baking or crafting or the skills, the things that Chloe and I have in common. And she says Estelle has the creativity and dexterity of a drunken palm. And Estelle's like, yeah, you got me. I can't deny this.
Sick burn, bro. Yeah. I really want Chloe and Josette to be besties.
Yeah.
That's just such a cute little friendship. They're like the sisterhood of the Josh rejects.
Exactly. I love this. Yeah, and then Julia is just kind of like, Kevin, we're going to be getting in touch because there's going to be some chaos as a result of this whole event. So we'll be in touch with you on a professional level. And then they and Sieg all run off or fly off up to the door.
Chloe does have a comment to Celeste before she goes. She's like,
yes.
It's a shame. Like, my grandma, the queen, never got to meet you. This would have been really special for her too. And she's better than me in every possible way.
Yeah. I'm sure you were so embarrassed and disappointed for me to be your descendant. And it's like, dude.
Yeah, just one moment of, like, character growth reversal to kind of cap it off, I guess.
Yeah.
Then they run off, and finally it's Josette's turn as the first solo departure.
Yes.
She makes her way off with a statement of rivalry to Estelle, of course.
Well, yeah, Estelle's, like, going to say something, and Josette's like, don't try to come up with some emotional nice thing to say to me, you bitch. Sorry, you tomboy, as they say in this world.
Yeah.
And then Josette's like, I was hoping, I've been watching really close to see if you and Joshua are breaking up so I can swoop in, but it doesn't look like it. Bummer. Joshua tries to intervene, they both yell at him to stay out of it. But then they do kind of end on, like, a sweet for them note, where Josette's like, don't you go getting hurt and causing trouble for Joshua.
Estelle's like, likewise, like, good luck with your business. Make sure you take breaks and don't overwork yourself. You dumb bitch.
Yeah. And then Josette's like, Kevin, it seems like you've got a lot of work to do. Good luck. Don't die. Bye. And then runs off. And then we get to what I think is the highlight of this whole goodbye ending sequence. Because it's Ren.
Yes. Who is not loving all these goodbyes, it seems.
No.
In her mind, why should they leave at all? Phantasma is a world where they can do whatever they want, so why not continue doing whatever they want forever? Have tea parties and do all that stuff just eternally.
And she also doesn't understand. Everyone's like, oh, I'm so sad to leave you all, but everyone's smiling as they say goodbye, and she's finding this really upsetting and stressful. Why are you all smiling if you're all saying that you're sad to say goodbye? And Joshua kind of clocks that Ren is scared and freaking out about the idea that she doesn't know if she's ever going to see any of these people she's spent all this time with again. And possibly also, the Ouroboros people that she's left behind. She doesn't really know if she's going to see them again either, who were also, like, kind of her extended family for a while. Everyone else is saying goodbye, and she, in her mind, I think, she's like, well, they're all friends, we'll see each other again, but I don't know if I'll ever hang out with any of these people again.
Yeah, her retort is sort of, it's fine, like, I'm not affected by this stuff. Like, Louvet died and I didn't even cry, so this is nothing.
Yeah.
But genius Joshua busts in saying, Yeah, but when someone dies, that's a certainty that you'll never see them again. This is an uncertain situation where you don't know what the answer is. You don't know if you will see these people again or not. And that's scarier.
And Estelle tells her the big scary secret truth of all adulthood, and not just adulthood.
Everything dies.
You figure out every single time you say goodbye to anyone, there's a chance you'll never ever see them again. Even if you just are like going to bed and you're planning to see them the next day. Mm-hmm. That's overwhelming, terrifying, scary thing, but also like it's a reality that we all learn to cope with and deal with.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with the fact that it's always possible hanging out with someone could be your last time, right? You try to be happy to be with them in the moment, and you make the best of it, and you promise to spend time together again, even though you can't really promise that because no one knows. You still say you're going to.
She even takes it a step further. She's like, hey, like longer term, everyone dies eventually.
Yeah.
Even if, you get married, have kids, live a wonderful life together. Like, of me and Josh, one of us is going to die first.
Yeah.
So the other one's going to be left alone no matter what. And that's just a reality. So, hey, savor the time you have, but understand that nothing's permanent and just kind of learn to live with it. Smile, smile.
Yeah.
Very realist for Estelle.
Yeah, and I think she's also saying, you're not the only one who doesn't know if they're ever going to see any of these people again. None of us actually know for sure. We hope we do, and we plan to. There's a good chance we will, but we don't know. All of us deal with the same uncertainty you're feeling. This isn't because you're uniquely alone in the world.
Yeah.
Because Ren seems to be a little reassured by Estelle saying everyone feels this way. Like, I think Ren is feeling like, I have no friend, I have no anchor, I have no real place in the world. And Estelle's like, honey, everybody is scared of this, but we're smiling because we're happy for the time we have together.
Yeah, you are not alone in your fear of being alone.
Yes.
It's kind of a nice, like, this is a relatable, normal human experience that you are having despite your abnormal life to date.
Yes.
This is you just, like, being part of a society.
Yes.
We live in a society, you know?
We do. We really do. Not the society of Ouroboros, but a society.
We no longer live in the society. We live in a society. And it's different. And it's worse in some ways, but it's also better.
Yeah.
I just love the idea of, like, Estelle, this, like, goofy, happy-go-lucky character, having the most, like, grounded, long-term perspective thought. It's just...
It's great.
The thought of, like, Estelle leaning down and be like, Ren, everything dies, with a huge grin on her face.
But I think it also kind of makes sense for why Estelle is, like, so self-actualized in that she's made peace at a really young age. I guess partially because her mom died really young, partially she's accepted this, which is a thing that I think is a really common thing to struggle to, like, figure out, to make peace with. We all reach an age where we're like, shit, I'm not invincible and my parents aren't invincible. Yeah. Usually the first time somebody dies in your life, but that keeps hitting you, and it takes a while, I think, for a lot of people to kind of figure out how to, like, internally, like, make peace with that. And Estelle's clearly just totally figured it out and has for a really long time.
Yeah, seeing the lines, I thought initially it felt much more like a Joshua thing to say, but honestly, this is the evolution of Estelle in that, like, the journey of second chapter especially was coming to understand Joshua fully, like his perspective, his experience, like his take on the world. And now that they're together and they've shared that information, she's kind of, like, folded that into her own worldview. She's done that thing you should do when someone presents you this kind of information, which is, like, assess it, see how you react to it, see what parts work for you, and, like, absorb them into your personality. So she is more rounded because you've got the optimist Estelle energy and the pessimist Joshua energy balancing into a realist.
And you also have Estelle, who's got a kind of groundedness to her optimism always. Like, she's always kind of been I have to work really hard to do things. I can't just, like, believe I'm going to be the best at things, Sad things are going to happen sometimes, but I just need to keep on trucking. Like, she chooses to be an optimist rather than is just so naive that she doesn't know bad things happen.
Radical acceptance of the world as it is.
Exactly. And then Estelle switches this into her pitch to Ren. Basically, she's like, and Ren, I can't actually promise that if you come live with us, we're going to be together forever. But I can say that we really, really, really love you.
Yeah.
If you want to be with us and part of our family, that's what we want more than anything. And then, it's possible that you'll grow up and you'll decide to do something with your life that we have to part ways, maybe for a while. And again, then we won't know if we'll ever see each other again for sure. But if that happens, we'll say goodbye with the biggest smiles on our faces because we'll be so happy to have spent all that time with you.
Just like we did here, yeah.
Yeah, and Ren starts crying. And Joshua's like, it's your choice.
Yeah, it's up to you at the end of the day.
But we know what we want, and we want to be your family.
Ren is overcome by all of this. It's a lot to take in for this little girl.
It is.
And her response is kind of, hate you, love you, bye. And she's like, fuck you. If you want me to stay, I'm going to run just to be contrarian. And I'm going to keep running and running and running. And I won't do what you want. And you can't make me. And I love you guys. And I want to be a family. And I hate you. And I'm leaving.
I kind of read this as also her putting them to the test in a bit. Like, I'm going to keep running away and you're going to give up.
Yeah.
I'm going to prove that you're not as committed as you think you are. Eventually, I'm going to make it so hard for you, you're going to give up. And Estelle accepts the challenge. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to give up. You can keep running as long as you like. That's okay. Run as long as you need to feel okay and feel safe until we've proven ourselves to you. But we're going to prove ourselves to you because we're not giving up on you.
Yeah, have you met me?
Yeah, my whole thing is running after traumatized, radicalized children until they are worn down by the force of my love. I learned this from my father.
I have a type.
This is my inheritance and purpose on this planet. That and whacking people with big sticks.
Mm-hmm.
But she does, and she does say, I hate you and I love you just as much, which is also the first time Ren has actually verbally said this.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sprints off. And then Estelle kind of breaks down crying in Joshua's arms after. Like, she's happy that she was able to tell Ren how she feels, what she wants, that they want to be a family, but this was also clearly actually really hard for Estelle, and she's been keeping on a brave face this whole time.
Yeah, they finally achieved their goal of catching up to Ren to start convincing her to be a part of the family. Now they've just got to continue on that journey.
Oh, and we do get confirmation that Cassius has said yes to adopting Ren into their family.
Oh, yes.
Even though he has never met her unless you brought Ren to the boss fight that he may or may not remember in the real world.
Mm-hmm. Which is good because from my perspective of hearing about this, like, relationship between Estelle, Joshua, and Ren in later parts of the story, I was never clear what the dynamic was. I thought they had adopted Ren as their child.
No.
But they've adopted her as, like, a younger sister, more so.
Cassius has adopted Ren.
He's the parent in the arrangement, not Estelle and Joshua.
I love fucking Cassius, the Chronicle adopter. Batman has some competition.
Mm-hmm.
Cassius is just like, there's a radicalized, violent child. Sign me up. Give me the adoption papers. Like, that is his whole deal.
Yes, he's like, I feel a tingling. A traumatized child has become available.
Traumatized, violent, extremely competently trained in murder child. He's not like, I don't want a troubled teen with some anger issues. I want someone with a death count in the thousands.
I want the polar opposite of my biological child in every conceivable way.
Yes.
But with that emotional relief moment, Estelle and Joshua also make their way up to the gate.
Yeah.
And we are left with the last two and only two people left in Phantasma, which is Kevin and Reese and also Celeste the Ghost. And nobody else, probably.
Everyone thinks they maybe forgot something, but they can't possibly think of what. They're kind of all standing there, dotting. Even Celeste is like, ... Celeste, who has, like, power over sensing this whole domain. Absolute power. She knows everything that's happening in it. And then suddenly we hear a yell from off screen, and they all go, whoops.
Whoopsie doopsie. It's Gilbert. We forgot about him again.
Boss Fight of the Year 2025.
He finally made it back after leading the Dragions away, or maybe they vanished or something when Rufina died.
Yeah.
But he's like, you gave me bad instructions on how to get here, but I still made it. What the fuck?
Yeah. And she's like, sorry, I was busy.
Yeah, I love that once again it's the same Gilbert moment. He's just like, what's going on? Why is it shaking? Everything's rumbly. And Kevin's just kind of very matter of fact. He's like, oh yeah, we beat the bad guy and this reality is about to collapse, so you should probably head through that door. And Gilbert's like, what? Ugh, okay. I'm a go. And next time you see me, I'm going to be even more powerful and more influential and
higher ranked.
Ha ha ha, fuck you guys. Thank you for saving me.
Yeah, so he's off. I really do love that. If not for pure luck, they would have just left him to die here.
Yeah.
Kevin and Reese are like, so, Celeste, what happens to you when we leave? And so it's like, well, I'll go back to sleep, and eventually Phantasma will disintegrate and disappear, and I'll be gone. And they're like, okay. Yep. Like, they're all very chill about this fate.
Yeah. It's like, okay, have fun sleeping your way to oblivion, I suppose.
She also confirms we're going to turn off the Recluse Cube.
Yeah.
The artifact in the real world will not have any powers ever again.
And Kevin's like, yeah, we'll probably have to give that to Tita's mum, otherwise she'll...
kill Agate.
Because it's not an active artifact anymore, so the Gralsritter don't really have to care about it or seal it up or anything.
Nope. And we are bargaining for Agate's life at this point for the fact that Tita got sucked up into this.
Yeah, maybe that'll balance her attitude towards Agate if she gets like a cool gadget to play with as well.
It'll at least distract her from murder.
For a bit. But the rumbling and shaking is continuing to get louder and more intense, so we've really got to go at this point.
Yeah, Reese is like, do you want to hold hands, Kevin? And Kevin's like, what? And she's like, I'm kidding. And I'm like, were you really, though?
Come on, you're about to walk through another dimensional gate that you assume has delivered all of your other friends to salvation and has not vaporized them as they walked through. No one really has a way of confirming.
Yeah. It's also the gate to heaven. You might die going through it and go to literal heaven. Like,
yeah.
No confirmation on that front either.
She's like, but what if we held hands? JK, LOL. Let's go together, though.
Unless. But yeah, and then let's go together. And they run up through and they go through the gate and we get the title card, Legend of Heroes, Trails in the Sky the Third. And we roll credits.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not over.
It's especially not over because this was the last hurrah from my beleaguered latte-filled laptop.
The latte top.
Which is that I didn't realize it at first, but the credits were playing at about 1/10 speed. For me?
Oh my god.
There's like the credits song that plays, and then the song finished and the game was silent, and we were still in like the first handful of credits.
Oh my
and at first
God.
I was like, oh, it must be a small development team, so they made the credits scroll slower than usual. But it got slower and slower to the point that it took a full minute for a name to pass from the bottom of the screen up to the top.
Oh my god.
It was about 17 minutes after the end of the song that the credits finally ended for me. I just had to sit there and let them play because you can't skip them. You can't speed them up. It's a movie.
The latte top didn't want her era to end.
It was so slow. So I really got to savor the name of every person and, go through that thing like when you're waiting at the end of a Marvel movie for the end credits scene. It was like,
Oh, yeah.
what order do credits go in? Oh God, we're up to localization? That means we're nearly at the end. Oh no, wait, translation team. Okay, off you go. So yeah, a good 17 odd minutes of just watching silent credits for me before we finally get to the end of them. And they fade away, and we get a post-credit scene.
We do. There's a Merkaba. It's Merkaba number 1, which means it's not Kevin's Merkaba. And it is Commander Selnet.
Ein Selnet.
Live and in person. It's not just an image of her on a screen. She's here. She's in person. She has a little model. Sister Cornelia herself. And she can confirm the safety of Olivert, Mueller, Estelle, Joshua. Oh, who are the two others? I didn't get them.
Josette and Jin.
Who, I don't know why those are the only ones that Kevin wasn't sure were okay, but apparently those were the only ones he wasn't sure were okay. Were they the ones who were in the air or something?
They were all the ones who were outside of Liberl.
Right.
And weren't society members.
Right, yes. Nobody cares about Gilbert.
No one cares about him, but yeah, they're on the phone with each other. He doesn't come up on the screen of the Macabre or anything.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, I've checked everyone who was in Liberl. Thank you for checking those, like, outside Liberl guys. The only other two we can't confirm are the Ouroboros people, which is Ren and Gilbert.
Yeah.
Ren we care about, and Josh and Estelle have got that one. Gilbert could not give less of a fuck.
Yeah, we will be just as happy if he did get vaporized.
Yeah, although Ein does comment that he's definitely changed through his experience in this weird phase space because the last time she spoke to him, he was a Kevin who wouldn't have bothered following up on anybody's safety.
Yes.
He did not care. There's definitely been a big change in his persona. I don't know if we even know that they've been gone for a period of time or it's like a blink and blink back.
It could have been instantaneous. We have no idea, yeah.
There's nothing about the way she talks about it to say, like, you've been missing for 4 months or whatever.
Yeah, no.
It's just like, oh, I look forward to reading the report on all of this. Or, like, your first-hand report.
And Kevin's like, yeah, I'll fill you in.
He also has a question for her.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, hey, Ein, can a Dominion ever change their title after the fact?
Yeah. Can I not be the heretic hunter anymore?
Yeah, can I change my name to something less grimdark? And I love that her reaction is to burst into maniacal laughter and then say, actually, yeah, a couple of people have done it before.
Her model, like, folds over forwards from the force of her laughter.
Yeah.
And she's like, this would be pretty rare, but not unprecedented. But, yeah, go ahead. But you have to pick it before we next meet or I'll choose your new name for you.
Yeah, he immediately starts, like, workshopping some ideas. He's like, what about the blue shooting star or the black arrow? And Ein just says, buddy, I've got one piece of advice for you. Let Reese help.
If you don't want to live in shame for the rest of your existence, you'll let Reese help picking.
Yeah, don't let the guy who picked Heretic Hunter to begin with make the choice.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take Reese.
Yeah.
And that is the end of the game.
The end.
And we get a little message on the very final screen. Thank you for staying with Trails in the Sky until the very end. While this story has told all it has to tell, there are still plenty more adventures to be discovered across the Zemurian continent.
And there sure are.
And there sure are.
But that is the end of the Trails in the Sky trilogy. We did all of them.
Yes!
Wow. What are 3 games I had never played before these were?
What are 3 games I had played before these were? So wait, let's talk about now. You have, because you've played. It's been years that you've been playing the Trails games, minus these ones. How do you feel, and what do you think now that you have played the Sky Trilogy, your white whale of sorts?
I honestly really enjoyed playing it the way that I did, sort of
Yes.
going and playing all the much later games and then returning to the roots, because it does make it exciting to kind of compare where it's gone to where it came from, kind of the evolution of all these mechanics, and honestly how much of it is just the same the whole way through.
Yeah.
Like arts crafts, S crafts, like all the basics are locked in, and they got them right from the start.
Oh yeah.
For the most part. Single target, S-Crafts, still a bad decision in my book. I need to be able to blast the battlefield with napalm. But yeah, I love getting to know these characters from all the like tiny snippets I've seen or heard from later in the series, references to this stuff. I kind of like that the scale increases over time as well. Like, first chapter was very kind of like narrow focus, like a very sort of personal, localized thing. Second chapter kind of expanded the world a bit. And then third just kind of said, and what else can we do here while we've got it?
Yeah. Did you have any like thoughts or expectations about what's the Sky Trilogy games were like before playing them that's like changed or was like different? Like, was there anything you kind of thought they were like and that was or wasn't accurate?
I guess the one thing was that a lot of the story was a mystery to me. Like, obviously I'd been spoiled on bits and pieces and like context clues from later stories and all that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I didn't really know what happened in any of these games, other than the broad strokes of like, the third game is weird. Like, that's kind of all I knew. Yeah, so seeing what the story beats played out, like stuff like toxic masculinity being the bad guy from a game this old, crazy. Great cast of characters. Like, I can see how these kind of archetypes evolved into the ones we see in later games and kind of where that's traveled with sort of modern sensibilities and sort of anime tropes and stuff like that. But yeah, this just feels like a really great grounded cast that all have reasons for doing the things they're doing. Even the people who are there as like goof characters like Gilbert have like a rounded character and an arc to them.
Yeah.
They packed a lot into this like first try, like really knocked it out of the park from the beginning, and they just found ways to kind of extrapolate on that. I don't know that there was anything I'd majorly misconceived about the games. I guess it was interesting to see kind of the version of you have a job where you do side quests as kind of the first iteration, because every game has some way of doing that.
Yeah.
You have a profession, and that means you do the main story, but also you have side tasks that you can take on as braces, as the police, or whatever else.
Yeah.
So it's just nice that so much of it was about ground level tasks at this point, kind of like building the world very, very specifically before we think about like wider threats that could threaten that. You need to know what you're protecting, I guess.
Definitely.
And so like the Bracer arc really does that really well. Yeah, I'm just so happy that I finally got the chance to play through all of them, and that it's coincided with kind of a renaissance of this original trilogy too, with the remakes and sort of people discovering them for the first time.
Yeah, the timing worked out so well.
It's so cool to see all the stuff on Twitter. Like, obviously my feed's been more and more inundated with trail stuff over the course of this podcast. But just like people reacting both to the remakes and the originals for the first time. People posting about the end of FC or whatever and be like, what the fuck just happened? Like, yeah, it's nice to be in on the joke now is the main thing.
I think when I first played the Sky games, because you always kind of hear people saying, and this goes for like most series, right? Like, oh, the older games were so much better, it's bad now, or this, or people complaining about this or that. So there was a part of me that was like, when I was first playing it, is the tone going to be clearly different? Is it going to be more high fantasy? Like, is it going to be less anime? And then I was like, no, Trails has had its identity kind of pinned down from the very start. Obviously, it has changed and evolved, like, how it expresses that in terms of, you know, mechanically, artistically, the presentation stuff has changed. But in terms of the core, like, feeling of the games, it's really consistent from throughout all 13 whatever games.
Yeah, it's what a series.
because the Sky was what I played after Cold Steel, so that was my first, because you played, your first 2D Trails games were Crossbell, or were Zero.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, it was Sky. And yeah, people like often say when going from 2D to 3D, they're like worried, and then they're like, wow, they actually really maintained the same like feeling and like vibe of Trails in 2D to 3D. And it's kind of the same thing going backwards, that it's like, it feels like this. Obviously, there's some limitations to, the camera controls or to mini maps or stuff, but the like feeling of the world and the setting really does endure.
Yeah, seeing how much they accomplished with such a limited scope, like the constraints of the time, the engine they built, all that kind of stuff, and how much they still managed to do with it. Stuff like the arena shots, all that stuff that's kind of like stood out over time, just like using what they have in a new way.
Yes.
It's very impressive. Not to mention, like, even within the 2D games, when we go into the Crossbell arc next, like, the graphical fidelity takes a real jump. And it's still kind of the same basic structure.
Yeah, like these are technically the remaster of the, like, this isn't the ones we have for Azure and Zero aren't the 2012 or 2013 or whatever version exactly. It's a remaster, but it's a Vita remaster, I think, that they do. And it is still, and even the original ones, there's definitely a jump. The camera angles, they're a lot more, I think, deliberate with camera angles and starting in Zero.
Yeah.
Keep kind of growing and challenging themselves in very fun ways.
Yeah, the style of the sprites changes a little bit. I think they're also like scaled a little bit larger so they can have a bit more complexity to them as well. So they take that plus the work with camera angles to really kind of get even more cinematic in the way that they did a couple of times in the Sky games. They do a lot more consistently. So I'm excited to get into that as well.
Next season. Yeah, I'm very excited to jump in.
Oh, are we done already?
We're going to take a little break first. We've got some stuff to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
We may also post a poll or something at some point with some thoughts about, potential bonus content or kind of how you're liking the formatting of it.
Mm-hmm.
We will be back with Zero, but that probably brings us to the end of this episode. Were there any other kind of closing comments you wanted to give? Remember how we thought this was going to be a short episode?
Yeah, nah. So after this, we'll take a little break. We haven't decided exactly how long we're going to take off as we sort of take a breather, prep for the next season, get everything ready as far as sort of new art. Got to figure out new ways to transition from chapter to chapter because we won't have English voice lines anymore.
Yeah.
We might change some other stuff up. The intro, outro could be a good time to shake that up. Get something policey for the triple S of the Crossbell arc. But when we do have a timeline for when that's coming, we'll let you guys know on socials and stuff. Have we thought as far enough ahead to say what the first chunk of the story will be, or will we just save that for when we announce?
I'm pretty sure. And obviously, keep an eye on our socials. If this changes, I'll present it. I believe our first episode of Zero, our first game chunk is going to be Prologue Day 1 and 2. If I recall correctly, Prologue, the Day 1 isn't really a playable stuff. There's just some scenes.
Yeah.
And then the second day is the day you actually get to play. So we'll just play days 1 and 2 of the Prologue. That's the plan. So if you just tune out and then come back when the next episodes go up, well, there may be some episodes before that of bonusy content, but that'll be what we're covering.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We will likely drop a couple of bonus episodes between now and the next season. Just some extra stuff that we've had cooking in the background.
Yeah.
Potentially with some guest stars, old and new. We'll drop those into your feeds whenever we feel like it.
Yeah, whenever the stars align for recording to be all ready to go, we'll pop up.
Yep. Plus, we've got other content from us out there in the world. If you just desperately need a dose of Lex and Matt content, you've got Lex's contributions over on Matt Horton's YouTube.
Flow State. I didn't say the name of the channel.
Video essays, which I believe you said there were 2 that should be up by the time this episode goes live.
Yeah, another trilogy. It'll be.
We might be wandering off to visit some other podcasts. Who knows? I've still got reviews in the works. Look out for a Beast of Reincarnation review a few days after this episode drops, which you'll probably see me post about in the Worst Garbage Discord. But otherwise, in the meantime, feel free to just send through any thoughts, feedback, or anything you might have had about the season at large, or what you're excited about for the next season with Trails from Zero.
Or if you have a bonus episode topic that you desperately want us to cover, send it forward. We'll definitely take it into consideration. Can't make any guarantees, but
Yeah, any ideas you have, fire them through. We love to hear them, if only to give us an idea of what you guys want to hear.
Yeah.
So that we can make more cool Trails content in the future. But for now, before we finish wrapping up the last recap episode of Season 3, it is time to crack open the TWG Community Chest, the special treasure chest that I keep here on my person that contains the names of every Worst Garbage show and property that's out there. Why do I keep this on hand? I don't know. I just want to feel close to my colleagues. For our final recommendation of the recap season 3, this week, the name coming out of the Worst Garbage Community Chest is all of them.
All of them.
Go to theworstgarbage.online. There's a full list of all the content we've referenced one at a time over the course of the season, plus all the past content that has wrapped up its sort of live releases.
Yep.
So check out theworstgarbage.online. There's also a link off to the Discord. You can come hang out with us in the Discord while we're between seasons and chat Trails for your Trails fix.
We are still extremely active and present in the Trails chat. It's actually absurd. There's like hundreds of messages a day in that thing some days.
Just as soon as we get through Azure, I will be ready to fully log into the Trails chat and never have to worry about a spoiler tag again. I'm so close.
You're pretty close. It's 2 games of podcasts. We'll see how long it takes us to play through them, but in terms of game length, it's pretty close.
But for now, that's going to do it for us on this final finale episode of our playthrough of Trails in the Sky, the 3rd.
Yes.
If you would like to interact with us, we've kind of listed off most of the ways already. You can email us at trailsthroughtrails@gmail.com. You can find us on socials for X, Blue Sky, and Instagram at TrailsPod. You can find our website at trailspod.online. You can rate and review us on your podcast app of choice. That would be lovely.
Yes.
You can find us at the West Garbage Online, along with those other great shows that are your singular recommendation for this week. And also YouTube. Don't forget YouTube. We have video versions of all of our episodes. And by video, I mean that it is a video. You do not see video of us. It is just the cover art, which this season was designed by Al Yossen. Thank you so much for the beautiful cover art that has kept us company all through Trails in the Sky, the 3rd.
Yes, we love it.
Next time on the show will be next season, which will be the beginning of Trails from Zero, available on all platforms now.
Except for little bonus episodes that will come before the other next times that are not next time. But next time on the recaps, yes.
But for now, I have remained Matt.
And I have and will remain Lex.
And for the last time, Kevin Graham, what do you have to say for yourself?
Take it away.
It's over! Nighty-night, kitty cats.
TWG, the worst garbage, online.